Check me out now. Return of the smooth operator. Shotty on repeat. I say sleep later. This another favor. Consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air. Fantasy a dream. Real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless. Learn to live shameless. Talk about me alive, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless. So I'ma style on them. They washed up. It's a rap. Throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them. Otakus for the win. Tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue. Get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah, about time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. 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 Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point. Moving forward, the battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a minor, but made me a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash Nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. Come 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 vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather, be weather, be tripping, starting to control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. Hold down here. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, Lucius. Why they still lying? They don't do this. Bad at board games, whole world clueless. Selling they soul for Roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a sliced extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge the teller? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame, ever blinking the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds, think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe, tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do, come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Come vibe with the blue. Pass what up? Vibe with the. Wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, Dreamweaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd without fear. Got the homie Carter Presents in the building. What's good?
I'm vengeance.
This motherfucker. Anyway. Oh, man. All right. Y'all, we got a lot to get into today. Y'all, as some of you may have been able to tell from the thumbnail, from the title, we're going to be talking about the Batman, or as he likes to be called, Vengeance. But that said, I do want to put up a little disclaimer, because when we did Spider-Man No Way Home, upon revisiting that video just for educational purposes, I noticed there were a fair amount of spoilers in the chat before we were ready to talk spoilers. So, I'm going to put this up, and y'all do with that information what you will. But we are going to do a non-spoiler review of the Batman. We are going to do a spoiler discussion after the review with no spoilers. We're going to do a spoiler discussion afterward. Please, please, please hold any messages that have spoilers in them until after that, because as I informed Carter, look,
That's the nice way to say it. What he really trying to tell you is, shut the shut up. Okay,
that too.
No spoilers in the chat. We gonna talk about it when our hand goes up. Shut up. I'm trying not to curse. Try not to curse.
It's okay. I was just gonna say, look.
Okay, shut up, people. The reason you all click this video, the reason you all are here, is to hear what we think about it. Ain't nobody here to hear or read what you think about them spoilers. You came here because you knew we were gonna be talking about it. So nobody needs your motherfucking input because y'all don't get paid the big bucks. I'm trying not to curse and you made me curse already. So no spoilers up in here.
At least not yet. Not yet. When I will look, okay, so just as Batman has the bat signal that goes up in the sky and sends out the call that he needs to come and handle some business, I will put the beacon in the sky telling y'all when y'all can talk about spoilers in the chat. Because another thing I know, too, we do have a lot of people who come in late sometimes, and even though they rewind it a little bit, they still occasionally see shit from the chat that's going on right now. Sometimes it depends on how YouTube's weird. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So let's just be kind, let's be courteous. Let's not spoil it for anybody just yet. But trust me, I will literally have something up that will let you know we can talk about spoilers.
For all you people that come in late, so you start watching it from the very beginning, but for whatever reason, you want a live chat, which is so fucking weird.
I mean, hey, look.
Don't say nothing. Just watch and read, even though you don't know what we talking about. Because you at the start of the show reading a live 2-hour chat. You don't know what conversations are being had. Don't say nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Don't say nothing.
Dude, no bullshit. This is from forever ago, if this tells you anything. But and I also should tell you something, because it lets you know where my head was back when this was a thing. But I remember when what's his face? Iron Man, the first Iron Man came out, and the Nick Fury shit at the end. That got spoiled for me because I was in a chat and someone just like, yeah, man, Nick Fury at the end. And I was just like, well, I'm going to go ahead and back out this motherfucker. But anyways, point of the matter is, yes, we're going to talk about the Batman and all that entails. We got some other stuff. If we have time, we will get to it. But you know what? Since we already got the light up in the sky, and I already see we got super chats, let's go ahead and address that first, and then we'll get into all the other stuff. First and foremost, let's go ahead and get into this one. We got one from the homie Gokhan Shuri's baby's father with the $2 super chat from probably at 4 or 5, maybe even 6 o'clock in the morning, saying Catwoman always been chocolate. Mic drop. I mean, that's fair. A lot of people don't remember Catwoman used to be played by Eartha Kitt. What?
Did you all hear him? Every video I have seen about Zoe Kravitz's rendition is Anne Hathaway, excuse me, which, okay, as to a white woman, that's fine, or Halle Berry. That's it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear about, well, that happened so long ago. I don't want to hear it. Because y'all asses still bring up Adam West. Get out of my face.
I was about to say, I don't even want to hear that bullshit. I am
so happy that people, that you brought it up, because I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
We now have another, what's the way to say this, quintessential Catwoman?
Yeah.
In Zoe Kravitz. So now we can put her up there with Earth. We have two good black Selena Kyles now with Eartha Kitt in the rendition that she was supposed to be, and then we got Zoe Kravitz. So please stop bringing up fucking Halle Berry. Please, that sister done way too many good movies for y'all to keep bringing up. Goddamn,
right. Lee Halle out of this. Lee Halle alone. No, we also got wait, where did it go? I was just looking at it. Here it is. We got another one here. This one I can actually pull up, and we got another one here too. This one from Jace Mitchell said, with the $5 super chat says, shouldn't Storm be able to create powerful force fields due to her use of the electromagnetic fields as Magneto? She's almost a glass cannon without it. I mean, to be fair, here's the thing. Storm can do a lot of crazy shit with her powers. One of them being, I would imagine she probably could, if she wanted to, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, manipulate something in that way. But a lot of times, if she don't want to be hit, she just moves. She like the little girl on Boondock. She was like, yeah, look. If I didn't want to be peed on, I just move. But no, she has used her powers to make like wind barriers and things of that nature, or to just deflect stuff. Storm just does weird shit sometimes. And then of course, reiterating, thank you, Absolute Venom. Gots to go get him. Thought I forgot. Absolute Venom just said it best. Says, to the late people coming in, spoil the movie now, you will be clapped by Blerd without vengeance. Car vengeance and absolute vengeance. You goddamn right you will be. Thank you. Please and thank you. Thank you.
Can we get this out of the way real quick? Because I've seen this. He's already asked this question 4 fucking times. K-Pop. The reason, let me ban this bot. The reason in every Batman movie, they always show Batman's eyes instead of having those terrifying clear covers over the face. It's the same reason they've done that shit in Batman Earth 1 since it's released. Yeah. It's to try to show more life in the character. That's why you don't see, because if you just see the white slits, then you can't relate or feel with that character. They can put more feeling into it if you see their eyes with actors who can act with their eyes and things of that nature. That's why. You
don't hire an actor of the caliber of Robert Pattinson.
I mean, you say the same thing for Christian Bale.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just talking about specifically to this movie. But yeah, no, Christian Bale, Michael Keaton. I mean, hell, even though the movies weren't great, even actors of the caliber of like Val Kilmer and George Clooney. You don't hire those actors. Ben Affleck, who I thought was a fantastic Batman. You don't hire that actor and be like, nah, we don't want to see the thing that you're like. Okay, fuck it. Let's go ahead and just start. Let's go ahead and just start the discussion proper. Here's the thing, the Batman. This movie is 2 hours and 55 minutes worth Batman goodness, and I will go ahead and say it right now. Is Robert Pattinson the Batman? Is he, and I don't mean because we know he is playing Batman, but is he the Batman? I'm going to go ahead and say it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think dude did a fantastic job. Because you said something, Carter, just then that made me just want to go ahead and just dive into it.
Okay.
Emoting. The eyes.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Good word.
Exactly. Yeah. So Robert Pattinson does something in this movie, and this is not a spoiler, because this is more just kind of telling you how this is going to play out, in a way that will kind of get you prepared. The style of Batman costume that he's wearing isn't anything exactly revolutionary in terms of look. The character that he's playing, yes, we've seen somewhat this type of Batman on screen before, like to a lesser extent by Christian Bale, but Robert Pattinson does something in this movie I don't think we've seen in a long time, and that is he plays a Batman who is very concise with his words. He's very concise with his words. I mean, he does talk a lot as Batman. Because I'm going to tell you right now, he in the movie a lot as Batman. This is going to be the first. I think this is like the first movie where the person playing Batman is Batman more than they are Bruce Wayne.
I counted, and I could be wrong.
Like how many scenes where he was just Bruce?
And I think I counted maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd add another point to there, but I think like maybe 5 or 6 times you see Bruce.
Yeah. It's very rare that you see him as just Bruce in the movie because he is a recluse. So he doesn't really leave the house very often. But I did think it was interesting that, the way he is playing Batman, he is letting his face, what little bit you can see of it, do the work for him. A lot of times he can just give you, and not just when he's playing Batman, even when he's playing Bruce, there are moments in the movie where he just looks at someone, or he looks a certain direction, or he just has just a look on his face that basically tells you everything you need to know. Well,
no, I just started thinking about certain things from the movie. A lot of you all may have seen the little 3-minute preview they did of Bruce at the funeral, or just how he is around people. Just something you said right there. It almost seems like, well, I'll save that. But I know what you're talking about, though. I
was
gonna ask you how your theater experience was with this movie, because you saw it a day after I did.
Yeah, day after.
Okay, so neither of us, we were both blessed enough not to see it opening night.
Right.
So how was your theater experience when watching it?
My theater was mostly packed, not packed to capacity, because there were still it's COVID times, and people, and apparently a lot of people do what I do now is I try and pick a seat that's in the middle of something. So if I see someone else bought a seat when I'm looking at it online, I buy a seat that's a seat over from them to have space between me and another person, because I'm an asshole. But
see, you could do that. I thought I did that.
Oh, you did?
Because here's all right, y'all. Here's the thing. Ernie and I had completely different experiences in our theater. You just said something great. You got yours online, and you were looking for your seat. Okay. But DC did the whole fan event thing, and they let me know where we're going to be sitting, this, that, and third. All of mine was online. I don't like hearing my voice. I heard Third Cave in the background. Okay.
Okay.
So when everybody got their seating arrangement, because my theater was completely different from your experience. Mine was completely packed.
Okay.
I'm talking packed.
Like to capacity.
Yeah. So if you want to see a movie like that, you want the full cinematic experience. You want to be like the dude in those old like VHS cassette tapes sitting in the chair like this because that sound from the head, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, you guys, your boy did not get that experience.
Oh shit.
Your boy got the experience of DC said I was going to be back here, but what really happened when I got there was Carter was in the fourth fucking row.
God damn.
So when Carter started looking for his seat and then realized that he shouldn't have been looking up here, he should have been looking down there. I took a picture and I put it in the Blerd Cohen Discord. But for those 3 hours of some Robert Pattinson goodness, your boy was like this.
Oh man,
this is how I had to watch the fucking movie.
Oh damn.
Luckily, LA movie theaters have a bar, so I was a couple margaritas in and feeling myself, so I was still able to enjoy the movie. But yeah, your boy was like this. So when I got out of
you
that
was
theater,
back,
that eye emoji where you just like, I was like that, and my head hurt because of all the color that was hitting me in the fucking face. But
damn.
But it's good that you had. But yeah, again, I just want to know your experience and how people react to certain things.
It was respectful. Theater. It was respectful. There was nobody clapping, cheering, or freaking out. It was a pretty reserved, like don't get me wrong, because people did that during Spider-Man No Way Home, and it's not to say I don't think anyone enjoyed the movie during my experience. I think people were just legitimately like soaked into the movie, because like I saw people, they were just like comfortable. They were like, ooh, like most everyone I saw, like the way the seats are now, like you can lean them back, you can like kick the legs out, whatever, recline it, whatever. But there was like the people on the road that were like directly next to me, like a lot of them were like kind of like in their seats, like kind of with their legs like kicked up, or had their legs up under them, like in the seat, like they were chilling on the couch watching a movie, like they were watching the shit that they into. So I mean, it was at least that part was good. But the movie itself, yeah, this is a Batman that is probably the closest I think we've gotten so far to having a Batman on screen that's as similar to a Batman we would see in the comics. Like okay, so Matt Reeves, the director, you can tell this dude took a lot of inspirations from The Long Halloween. There's all kinds of imagery that kind of lends itself to that. But the other thing I'm going to say is this movie is basically like, if you ever wanted to know what the movie Seven would be like if it had Batman in it, this is about as close as you'll get. I'm not saying the movie is exactly like Seven, because it's not as violent or as gory or as gratuitous as Seven. There's a lot of implied violence, and there are some messed up scenes in it.
Actually, funny you said Long Halloween, because I know that was something Matt Reeves said he read in preparing for the movie. In my theater, I didn't realize it until later, but they were actually giving out issues of the Long Halloween,
really,
with a special cover that was related to the Batman film.
Interesting.
Yeah, so my theater was giving those out, but when I left out of the movie, because a lot of people in my theater actually gave it applause.
Okay,
it wasn't a lot of hooping and hollering when I went inside. It was just a lot of applause.
Yeah.
But the one time Carter leaves, because all those drinks Carter had before the movie then finally kicked in after 3 hours, I immediately ran to the bathroom and didn't realize it until I saw people coming in the bathroom with the comic in their sleeve.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And so when I go out, I'm like, "Where's my comic? We don't have it anymore. You can get these Batman pins." It's like, you prick.
Like, get the fuck out of here. But no, so basically, what this Batman movie is about, as one might imagine, this is the Batman in the second year of his operating in the city.
Mm-hmm.
He is not as experienced. He's not the well-oiled machine that we're used to seeing. Because that's actually something I thought was interesting about the Christian Bale movies, and I might be misremembering, but I remember even in Batman Begins, it seemed like Batman got really good at being Batman really fast. Granted, by the time you get to the Dark Knight, he's like the guy, but like by the time you get to the end of Batman Begins, Bruce is pretty much Batman. Like he's gotten it down. He's gotten it down for the most part. But like this is a Batman. We're literally witnessing this Batman's journey. Like he's already been in operation. He's already been like there are people who it almost kind of reminded me of the Michael Keaton Batman. Like remember back in the old like 1989 Batman where like there were some people who were scared of Batman and other people were just like, "Oh, that dude's a joke." There's some of that there, some of that feeling about
like,
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
With you bringing up that he's only been doing it for 2 years, because they actually bring it up when he's doing his monologue, but he just got the bat signal in this movie.
Yeah, the bat signal is the bat signal is a brand new thing. that's
like,
how
new he is.
Yeah. And what's going on is that the Riddler, who is like your chief antagonist. There are other antagonists in the movie that we've already seen. Of course, we know that the Penguin, of course, yes, the Penguin, he is in the movie. We know that Catwoman's not an antagonist. She's what Catwoman is.
She got her own agenda.
She got her own thing. Yeah, she's got her own shit going on. But the Riddler is the chief antagonist of this, and what we get is this. What I think is probably one of the more. I'm not gonna lie. I actually found this dude kind of slick, genuinely terrifying.
Hey, especially when you bring in, and this is something I haven't really said this a lot, but I know like certain Nolan's movies had this a little bit, but it was the acting from Paul Dano that really brought forth just creepy fucking Riddler. But then at the same time, what also helped it out, and that's where Matt Reeves comes into the equation, is just the really dope cinematography they did in the shots.
Yeah. That was
where Riddler would be up and running, or would be around. And I think that really helped this Riddler. Yes. Just the really creepy shots, or really dope shots.
Oh yeah.
And
shots like this one I just pulled up. This is Paul Dano's Riddler, which I know looks kind of silly. It's nothing like what you're probably used to seeing the Riddler look like. However, that shit's fucking terrifying when you see it in motion. Like a still image doesn't do it justice. Like, yeah, I get it. You've got let's see if I can actually get this. I'm gonna see if I can actually get this pulled up here. You got this guy right here. Goofy looking Paul Dano. This dude literally looks like he has done something wrong. Dude is always moist and sweaty every time I see him in every movie. Doesn't matter what the movie is. I think the first movie I ever legit saw him in was Prisoners. This dude was legit sweating the whole movie. And you see this guy here, and this is like, nah, this dude with the voice.
I think we can leave his sweating alone in prison. Hugh Jackman whooped his ass, so that basically the whole
Dude, he was like, nah, I know what you did. Look, he hit him with that he hit him with that Ezra Miller. He hit him with that
Yes.
Keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, and you know what I'm talking
this
about.
was the angry Hugh Jackman who baby was gone and he was screaming and he still had slob come out his mouth. I think we can let Paul Dano sweat in that movie.
Oh yeah.
He was getting his ass whooped and didn't know what was going on.
he was like, "What'd I do?" He's like, "Nah, man, you just look guilty." I ain't gonna lie, though, after I saw what was it, 12? Was it 12 Years a Slave that he was in? Paul Dano. Yeah, I have been uncomfortable looking at him ever since, because every time I'm just like, I want to whoop his ass.
The movie.
Oh, you haven't?
I've never seen the movie because I'm tired of watching those movies.
I understand.
The one thing that I have seen from 12 Years a Slave, because I've seen the YouTube clip several times, is when Baron Mordo got that belt. It's all Paul Dano's head. That's the one scene I have seen from that movie. Bruh. Is Baron Mordo laying hands on him. Boy.
Lord. Well, here's the other thing too with this. So for those who don't know, the Riddler in this movie, he is a catalyst for what I actually think is, I know some people probably won't like this, but I actually thought it was really interesting. This is a very political movie. This is like a movie that's, it's part serial killer thriller, but it's also kind of a political drama, because basically, I don't want to go too deep into it until we get into spoilers as to the reasons behind it, but basically just know that the Riddler is going after political figures, people of prominence in Gotham City, and he's doing it in a way that is very reminiscent of the movie Seven. If you're familiar with the movie Seven, John Doe, who was basically going after people who he felt had committed, atrocious sins. And by atrocious sins, I mean like the 7 deadly sins. So like he went after them and he tailored a murder to what their sin was. So like, what was it? The one that was gluttony. He basically made the dude eat himself to death, which was like the first murder of the film. What was the other guy? Lust, who, if I'm not mistaken, was the guy who was cheating on his wife, and he basically, he took it was also, there was a prostitute involved too, but like he basically he basically strapped like I think it was like bladed dildo on the dude, and basically had him like fuck her with the bladed dildo. My apologies for any children who may have walked into the room as I said that. But no, it's funny to me because it works. Like, it works. There's also some very jigsaw level shit going on here in a couple of points too.
Yeah.
And I'll even say, like, and I don't know, I feel like at first, the one thing I'll say about the Riddler that I wasn't crazy about at first, but it grew on me as time went on, was at first I couldn't understand everything he was saying. Because he was using a voice modulator, and he was also speaking underneath a mask. So it kind of sounded muffled in points, and the voice modulator would kind of mess. It would kind of like, I feel like maybe that part was kind of intentional to make you like really have to focus on what he's saying. But like after like the first couple of times that they would have him speak in this way, I was like, okay, I understand what he's saying now. My ears have adjusted. I get it now. I never had that with Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. I never had that with Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. The whole time I was just like, huh? Hell, there were sometimes I didn't even understand what the fuck Batman was saying, because he was the best of us.
I think that was on both sides, because I remember when we reacted to that first Fandom the Batman trailer, neither of us understood what Robert Pattinson said at one point, and then they had to redo the trailer so we could. I think a lot of you all have seen that trailer of when he punches the fucking window, and he says, "What have you done?" Originally, we didn't know what Robert Pattinson said. Right? No,
we did not. But I will say this though. I will say this. With you having just said that, I actually really like what they did with his voice in this. Because he's not using the Bale, like, Yeah, like I hated that shit. I was like, dude, why can't you just talk normal? That's why when Ben Affleck became Batman and he had the voice modulator, I was like, okay, this is way better than whatever it was that Bale was doing. Like, just talk normal. Now, Pattinson is not using a voice modulator. He's not using a voice modulator at all. What he's using is
him.
Yeah, just him. It's just his voice.
Yeah, a light bulb just went off in my head. I think in this movie, the way he's talking, it's Bruce.
Yeah, it's just Bruce.
It's literally just Bruce at a whisper. I wouldn't even. I damn near wouldn't say a whisper because any scenes that he had interacting with Alfred, he sounded just like he does when he has the cape and cowl on.
Right.
So yeah, this was Bruce.
Yeah.
It was the same voice, no matter who you were talking to. If you were talking to wet hair Bruce through the whole movie, or you were talking to the Batman.
Right.
Same thing.
Well, when he was, but I will say the one difference was when he was in the costume, he spoke in a lower register, but like the voice was the same. Voice was roughly the same. Now that's the other thing too. Yeah, because I remember a lot of people were going off about how it's emo Batman because they saw the hair when he took the helmet off. I was like, dude, your hair would look like that too if you had any. And you took a helmet off. Like everybody was expecting him to take the helmet off and just have like this perfect like pompadour or some shit. Like he just came out the stylist booth and just got the hair just, yeah, man, I'm ready to walk on the red carpet. Dude, if you wear a helmet for any stretch of time, that's what your hair would look like if you had hair that was like that. If you were like, this is mostly applies to like, you know, that people of the Caucasian persuasion and other folks who typically have like longer straight hair, but even if you had hair that was like black people's hair, kind of kinky, you know, little, you know, hair of lamb, but you know that would be the same if you were rocking like a little, even if you had like a little fro, man, you take that helmet, I'll be looking like Frederick Douglass. Looking like Don King. That's what would happen. Like as people saw like all the eye black on, I was like, y'all realize motherfuckers been wearing eye black under the bat suit for like since Keaton. Keaton wore it. Kilmer wore it. Bale wore it. Even Affleck wore it. The only difference is that they actually made it a part of the story. They made it a part of the movie in this, where like in the other movies, like you remember, like you actually mentioned Batman Returns to me the other day, Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Batman takes the mask off in Batman Returns towards the end of the movie when he's trying to like appeal,
talk to Selena? Yeah.
Remember how like remember he has the mask on, he's got eye black on surrounding his eyes to make it, you know, kind of blend in with the rest of the mask, but also make his eyes stick out.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you notice when he took the mask off? Face was just clean as a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they don't do that with Robert Pattinson in this movie.
I also realized it took him a minute to pull that joint off because it wasn't just something you can pull off.
Well, yeah, because basically the bat suit was the equivalent of wearing like a wetsuit, like a lot of them, and it was a lot of rubber that he was having to like. Yeah, so yeah, he had to struggle a little bit. But no, getting back to it, the Riddler, yeah, he's going after these political figures. Batman is investigating, and the idea is that the investigation leads Batman to uncover something that he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And which, you know, in this case, this is an inexperienced Batman, so there's lots of shit he don't know. He knows a lot about the city, but this was something that was I'm not going to say he should have known, but it's something that, like, he would eventually have found out at some point later down the road. He just found out about it a lot sooner than he was ready to. Beyond that, getting into performances.
Yeah.
Getting back to performances, of course, you know, Robert Pattinson, we already said he's great. I want to get back to Zoe Kravitz, though, because you did say something earlier about Zoe Kravitz, and I agree 110%. Zoe Kravitz, I've heard a lot of people say that she's like the standout of the movie. I don't know if I would go quite that far, but she's close. If she wasn't, she's real close to it. Like, just because of her arc in the movie and like what she brings to the table.
I don't want people to take what I'm about to say negative, because I don't mean this negatively. I don't think there was one standout, because I think everybody did so well.
Yeah.
I think because everything in this movie was a fucking character.
Yeah.
The bat signal was a character. The time of day was a fucking character. I think.
Dude, the soundtrack
movie,
was a character.
Yeah.
Dude,
that
motherfucker started playing that Nirvana, and I immediately went back and dusted off Nevermind and just started listening to it. I was listening to it. Carter jumped in on the call. Because I was like, dude, I have never listened to this song before the way I'm listening to it right now. God damn. But no, you're right. Everybody's a character. I
think everybody.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of, the time that they had, everybody did their thing.
Yeah, no, most certainly. One I actually kind of want to shine some light on too is Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell was acting his ass off in this movie, and he's not even in it as much as you would imagine for the amount of work that he put in on this character. For those that aren't aware, Colin Farrell plays Oswald. Did they ever call him Cobblepot? I don't know if he's actually Oswald.
No, they just called him, in this movie, they just called him Oz.
Okay, okay. So basically, he motherfucker Oswald. That's big homie Oz right there. But this guy is under so much makeup. He's unrecognizable. Like, his voice, unrecognizable. Like, here, like, let's, like, right
well,
here.
You know what? I would disagree with that. There are certain moments where, and this is what I was going to say when it pertained to Colin Farrell. It's just a lot of you all were like, damn, I can't believe that's Colin Farrell. That ain't Colin Farrell. There are a few instances you will hear Colin Farrell.
Well,
and that you will hear it come out a little bit. You gonna hear Bullseye come out a little bit. But he did his thing.
Yeah. Oh no, he was fantastic. And of course, and as it stands, the reason he kind of like what John Cena got with Peacemaker. Ping was getting his own standalone series, supposedly. Like he's getting a little like a little HBO Max spinoff joint, as is the Gotham PD, which at first I'm not gonna lie, when it was originally announced, when they said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing a spinoff and it's gonna be focused on the Gotham Police Department," I was originally kind of like, we already got that, and I didn't care for it then, and I'm probably not gonna care for it now. But my mind has changed because of Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright's Gordon is fantastic. Dude, he was acting his ass off. I'm sorry. There's no other way to put it. Like, Jeffrey Wright, did you ever get the impression he was just tired? Like the city had just worn him down to the point where he just like every time I saw him, he just looked defeated. Until he saw Batman, he was like, all right, we might have a chance at this.
I didn't get that. What I got was, okay, the main thing that kept going on in my head was, okay, who is Gordon blackmailing to constantly have Batman having his back as much as he does? Because they got to be giving him a lot of rope to constantly have Batman in these damn crime scenes, man.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. This version of Gotham is probably the most lawless version of Gotham I think we've ever seen. And that's even considering the old Keaton and Kilmer and Clooney movies. Yeah, this is the most lawless version because the police, they have corruption, which granted, we saw corruption in the Christian Bale movies, of course. Yeah, that's fine. But like this version, I don't know, it seems more sinister because it's just, I don't know. I feel like parts of this movie hit different because of the things that are going on in the real world. And Jeffrey Wright's performance, and I don't know if he's going to be involved with that Gotham Police Department spinoff. I would imagine that he would be.
Yeah, hopefully this is what I wanted the Gotham series to be, which was that I think it was Ed Brubaker, GCPD comic
GCPD.
from yesterday, because that's what I thought Gotham was going to be.
I did too.
Ugh.
It was not. It was not. Last but most certainly not least, this will be the last I want to talk about performances while we're not talking about spoilers, is Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis, which I'm not going to lie, it's easy to forget that Alfred is in this movie because he's not in it very much. But his time, the time that he is on camera is well spent. I like that his version of Alfred, like, okay, you know how like we always knew that Alfred has a history. Yeah, it was hinted at with Michael Caine in the Christian Bale movies. It was even kind of teased in the old, the old, I guess, the Keaton and the Kilmer movies, whatever. It was always kind of teased. And of course, we have a whole TV show spinoff with Alfred that lets us know he was a badass back in the day. But this movie, Andy Serkis made me believe that he could have been that Alfred. Like when I looked at Andy Serkis, I was like, yeah, this motherfucker, he done whooped some ass before.
Well, I don't want to say this is a spoiler, but kind of, it's very bare minimum. But you find out that like this Alfred actually taught Bruce how to fight.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, this is one. This could have been the Pennyworth. I've yet to watch that show, but one thing I think about a lot when I was watching the movie was Batman Earth One, and how that Alfred was a war vet.
Okay, yeah.
Who was he was walking with the walking stick, and he did damage, but this one didn't go as. Andy Serkis in this movie didn't go as far as Earth One and just flat out kill somebody with a pump.
He busted that Caldwell rival
for Batman Earth One. Alfred got bodies in that book. Oh man. But yeah, for the few scenes that Alfred is in, he does a good job at portraying that character, where it was just, I showed you this to take care of yourself. This, what you doing, isn't really what this isn't what I.
Yeah, this ain't what I had in mind.
Yeah, this isn't what I had in mind. But at the same time, I'm still riding.
Right.
So yeah, Andy Serkis, he did his thing. He did his thing in this.
Like
I will forgive him for Venom 2. Somewhat.
This man. Anyway, no, what I was gonna say is for me, I liked what they did, because here's the thing. I always felt like Alfred in the Bale movies when Michael Caine was playing him, I felt like he was a little too ride or die. That first one, he was just like, all right, yeah, let's go. He was like,
I failed you.
He's like, I failed you, Master Wayne. But no, it's not to say that Michael Caine didn't give him pushback as Alfred, because in The Dark Knight we saw he did give him a little pushback. We all saw a little bit of pushback in The Dark Knight Rises as well. But thing is, it was soft pushback. It was like okay, go ahead and do what you're gonna do. No, you can tell Alfred wants to whoop Robert Pattinson's ass. There's a couple of times he gives that dude a look like, all right, don't think I'm going to take this cane and go upside your head. But no, I dug it. But yeah, overall, the movie, my biggest complaint with it, probably really one of my only complaints with it that actually like stuck even after I got out of the movie. Some stuff that did bother me initially, I honestly forgot about by the time the movie was over, or like shortly after leaving the theater. The one and only thing that actually stuck with me though was the runtime. Like I said at the beginning, this movie is 2 hours and 55 minutes long. It is over long. Does not need to be this long. I would have shaved at least 30 minutes off of this. At least, minimum 30 minutes. I could even make a case for this movie just being a straight up 2 hours. But just like what I said with movies like, what was a movie we talked about recently that I said was just too fucking long? Anyway, I don't remember. Point of the matter is, I feel like I wouldn't have known if I would. It's an unenviable task because if I was the director, I wouldn't necessarily have known what to cut myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's an unenviable task. You would have to pick things and while I like, here's the sad thing, I like everything I saw. It's just that, the movie was just too long. It was almost like, okay, I tell you what, this is as close, I think, that a movie has been to being egregiously long that I still liked. It didn't go into fucking Zack Snyder territory where like the movie's 4 hours long, 4.5 hours long, but it's only 4.5 hours because they drug shit out. Or they use slow-mo like 10, 15, 20 times every like 10 seconds. No, this movie is long because it has a lot to say. It has a lot to say, and it says it. It says it, for the most part, pretty well. Like, I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to, like, the same people who I always see, like, oh, man, why does it have to be political? Why does it have to be political? Well, here's the thing. Those same folks that normally are the first ones to say that probably won't even notice it in this movie. But this movie's very political. And they'll probably, it'll probably go right over their heads. There's a lot of political commentary in this movie. Every scene has purpose. Every moment that we see Batman has purpose. It's not just frivolous amounts of extra scenage just to, make it seem like you're getting more Batman than what you are. No, everything has weight. Whenever we see Selena Kyle, it has weight. Whenever we see Penguin, it has weight. He's not just there as a background character to just be like, oh, see, hey, we got Penguin in here. No, he has a purpose. There's even one of the cops. I think, what was his name? Keen? It was one of the dirty cops in the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that dude was a throwaway character, but even his moments, the twins that show up in the movie, which, by the way, they call them the twins, but they may as well be Tweedledee and Tweedle fucking Dum. But that said, even their scenes, like, even though, like, they're not important characters, when they show up, you're like, they about to get their ass whooped. But yeah, I really liked this movie a lot. Despite that criticism, I liked this movie a lot. And I'll even say something, if anyone wants to know what the hierarchy for me of Batman movies are, I will definitely say I like this better than most of the recent Batman movies. Like, I still hold The Dark Knight in very high esteem. I still hold The Dark Knight in very high esteem. I don't think it's as great as everybody makes it out to be. I've seen Heat before. I've seen crime movies. I get it. But here's the thing. I would put the Batman, like, in an arena alongside it. Like, as being a movie that is a superhero movie. It's a comic book movie. But if you divorced it of all that, it would still be a great whatever genre this movie is. This would still be a great crime thriller. This would still be a great serial killer story. This would still be a great political drama. This would still be a great movie. Period. Even if it wasn't called Batman. Is basically what I'm going. Same way I feel about The Dark Knight. I feel like if you divorce The Dark Knight of all the superhero elements, it's still a great movie. Like, if you just pretended it wasn't about Batman and the Joker, The Dark Knight is still a fantastic film. I feel the same way about this movie. So, Carter, what are your thoughts?
I would put this. This is probably getting me in trouble.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, do it. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
I don't know. I would put this up there with Batman Returns.
Okay.
I think
I like Batman Returns.
This would be my number 2 Batman movie right now.
Okay.
And I got a lot of pushback on that because I said I'd watch this over the Nolan movies, but I said you have to.
Yeah.
I needed people to give me some wiggle room because you brought up The Dark Knight, and why I have it in such high regard. I'll tell you why. Because I asked someone else this, and I'll ask you all this, because a lot of people will bring up The Dark Knight. So here's my question: can you sit down and put in The Dark Knight and watch it front to back, or do you put in The Dark Knight and cut to certain scenes?
Yeah. I'll be the first one to say I cut to certain scenes.
Okay,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Spoilers for that movie. When that shit comes out on home video, are you gonna watch No Way Home front to back? Or are you gonna cut to, again, spoilers, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in Abuela's kitchen, and then watch the rest of it?
I'm not gonna lie, that one I will actually watch from start to finish.
Oh yeah. And not knocking you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
No.
you know what I'm saying.
But I get where you're coming from, though. I understand.
This one, I can sit down and watch this.
Yeah, even at 3 hours. I know
yeah.
I said 2 hours and 55, but let's go ahead and just say it's fucking 3 hours.
Right.
I felt that last 30 minutes. But the good thing is, it was a good 30 minutes. It was a really solid 30 minutes. I will say, I wouldn't recommend taking your children to go see this movie. Because I actually wrestled with the idea of taking my daughter to go see it. She likes Batman. Not her favorite superhero by any stretch of the imagination. But, she is keenly aware of who Batman is and what he represents. And I was like, because when I told her I was going to go see it, she kind of wanted to go. And I was like, I don't know if this is the one. I was like, let Daddy see it first. And then we'll talk about it. But and it's going to be on HBO Max in like 45 days anyway. So,
yeah, it's next month.
Yeah, next month it'll be on in April. But yeah, there were some. I mean, and let's talk about that. Okay, so this movie is PG-13. There were some moments I forgot it was PG-13. And it's because of some of the imagery that's in this movie. The traps that the Riddler uses. Without going into them, there's some traps that the Riddler uses in this movie that they're pretty much some shit you see in Saw. Yeah, like I said, no spoilers. Don't say anything.
Oh, no. I wasn't even going to say that. I was just going to say, watching this movie, because you just said it was PG-13. And we both clearly fucking enjoyed it. We know a lot of you all enjoyed it. But
again, I thought you were pointing at the no spoilers thing above your head. No, never mind.
No,
you did it perfectly.
Thank you. I was just gonna say, are you all gonna leave Marvel alone now? Because this just showed how you can do PG-13.
Yeah.
Without all the stuff you all think that's just needed.
It's implied violence. It's implied violence. There's a moment where something grisly happens to two different people. And I'm sorry, but it wasn't gory. You don't see it almost kind of reminded me of Reservoir Dogs. Jesus Christ. Remember the scene with Mr. Blonde where he like cuts the guy's ear off?
Cuts the ear off, yep.
Yeah, they cut away from that scene. They actually cut away from that. Like when he goes for the cut, the camera pans away and your mind is filling in the gaps. This movie doesn't necessarily do exactly that, but I mean, you can fill it in and realize what's about to happen. Like, and for Claro, I don't know if anyone's ever actually seen this, but you can actually watch a version of Reservoir Dogs where they don't cut away. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it looks really fucking stupid. When you're watching Mr. Blonde cut the guy's ear off, it looks so silly and so fake and just so uninteresting. I now understand why they cut away from it, because that was more effective than actually showing him cut the ear off. The thing is, there's cursing in this movie. There is violence in this movie. And here's the thing. It's a PG-13. You could get away with a lot. and I keep saying this, people don't believe me, you can get away with so much in a PG-13 film. Like, hell, it doesn't have to be okay, Deadpool. I like to use Deadpool as an example. Deadpool is an example of using your R rating incorrectly. Like when you're constantly cursing every like half second. Like that's not clever to me. I don't think that shit's funny. Like at all. Like Peacemaker, I feel like did it better, even though they kind of fell into that territory too sometimes where they just curse for no reason. Like, okay, cool, yeah, you like seeing superheroes curse. Oh my God, it's something I've never seen before. I mean, yeah, if you've never seen it before, that's fine, I guess. But, like, for me, that doesn't move my needle. Yeah, it doesn't move the needle for me. Like, honestly, I find it cringeworthy when superheroes curse unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Which is the same way I feel when I see actual real-world people do it. But in this, every time that they did something that we would typically see in an R-rated movie, it was effective and made you forget it was PG-13 because it felt like it was done organically. Like, yeah.
I was just gonna say, anytime people they bring up the R-rated stuff, it's just like, dude, everybody, it's several people in the chat right now talking about the Nolan movies, and you talk about how Dark Knight was the end all be all. There wasn't really cursing in the Dark Knight like that. There are moments like, dude,
and it was PG-13 too. Shit.
Okay. The scene when Joker is trying to goad Batman into hitting him.
Yeah. Joker
clearly says, you can read his lips, and he says, fuck, but you don't, they cut it out.
Yeah, they cut it out.
When he does the magic trick, you don't see the magic trick. It's very quick.
You don't see the pencil.
So it's like, you all have been watching these movies, so why does the R rating matter this much? This is the first movie where we just got as much fucking cursing as we did.
Yeah. Without it being a rated R movie.
So it's like, what are we talking about here?
And Batman brutalizes people in this movie. Like, the people he fights, he's not fighting like, he ain't using ninja techniques. He's not fighting like he trained in the League of Assassins. This dude...
Well, I couldn't really focus on the fight scenes again because I was...
Well, yeah, you were leaned back. you were getting assaulted by the movie screen. But no, he fought brutally. Like, you see it in the trailer part where he, like, when the guy's like...
He don't look like League of Assassins. He looked like an old white man in a cane, showed him how to scrap.
And he beat... Like, he looked like one of them World Star videos. Like, you see somebody, like, just start beating somebody's ass, that's what it looks like. He just like, what, you want some of this too? That's what he doing. But no, the only thing missing is somebody with a camera phone just like hovering around him and like filming it in portrait mode. But no, that said, yeah, the movie is great. Carter, I believe you said as much as well. You gave it pretty high honors, high marks.
Yeah, I'd watch this again, not in theaters.
No. I'm gonna wait for, like, I'm not gonna, like, I will, if only because my wife really wants to see it really badly, and she works nights, and that was the night that I went, was the night that she had to work, so she didn't get to go, but she really wants to see it, and so that might be the only way I wind up going to go see it in the theater again. But if I do see it again after that, it will very likely be on HBO Max. But that said, let's get into, because we got some super chats here that I want to address, but I didn't want to get into them right that second because it would have thrown off what we were talking about. But first one from the homie Ibrahim Robinson says, with a $5 super chat, what are your opinions about the current Daredevil run, The Woman Without Fear? Well, it's over, and it was good. I think the issue we got...
That was the last issue?
I think so. I think that was the last issue.
Damn.
Because I think they showed the next one being Electra 100. I could, once again, I could be wrong. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
But as I understood it, Woman Without Fear is only 3 issues. Yeah, it's only 3 issues. And it ended. Yeah, and I'm not gonna spoil it here. It does end with a massive potential spoiler for the finale of Devil's Reign. Like, but here's the thing. I think, because I saw a lot of websites posting about this, I don't think that I don't think that what they said happened at the end is actually what's going on. Because there seems to be some shady shit happening at the end regarding another character that you see in that final shot. But I could be wrong. Just throwing that out there. But, yeah, it's a massive spoiler for Devil's Reign number 5, which I think comes out this week. We'll see. But Tubes the One with $5 super chat says, "What's up, Blerd? I haven't seen Batman yet, but can't wait. Also got approved for an apartment and moving in a week. Can I get a W? Hope everybody doing good." Man, hey, I'm happy for you. Thank you so much for the love.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Hope everything's going well. The Batman, fantastic. Like I said, we're not down on it at all. So I highly recommend it. Let's see here. We've also got here, rolling back, because we're rolling in the deep here. Let's see here. There we go. And I'm gonna double check them because I want to make sure we're not missing anything. Let's see here. And actually, yeah, I did. These I can't show because they were back far enough that I didn't get them. But I can still read them. Let's see here. We got one from Trey Johnson over here with the $5 super chat. Says, "Rejoice! We got a new dark detective out there." And that's another thing I do want to point out to this movie. This is actually the most detective work I think we've ever seen in a Batman movie. Like, ever. Like, I know the Nolan movies, they did do a little bit, but it wasn't, I don't know, it didn't feel like real detective work.
Well, see, and I didn't want any no pun intended when I say this, but when people asked me to describe how I felt about the movie, I was saying it not because there was detective stuff in it, but this movie felt like a detective comic story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. This isn't a Batman movie. This is a Detective Comics movie. Yeah, this is Detective Comics.
Yeah, because you know how if the main Bat book, that's where all the big name, big time shit pops off, like Batman and Robin, Batman Forever type of stuff.
Yeah.
Not as funny, but you all get the idea I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then the more intimate, more down earth kind of shit was in Detective Comics.
Right.
That's what this movie was. This movie was Detective Comics.
Yeah. Like, it was literally Detective Comics in all but name. Which I'm fine with. That's not even a shot. That's high praise, honestly. LJ Brown with the LJ Brown with the 5 pounds. It does it really weird when it shows it on in a different screen. Anyway, says people need to put respect on Urza's name. Just ask Eddie Murphy and Boomerang. She was doing her purrs for that. Hashtag Marcus Darling. Dude, I remember when...
I forgot she was in Boomerang.
Yeah, she was very, very, very much in Boomerang. And then we got, this is one, the $4.99 super chat from... from Sucked. It says, "Saw mine in 4DX, and my head was bouncing all over the place. Also, my audience was hella pissed about that after credits." Okay, so let's go ahead and put that to bed right now.
Oh, man.
Okay, so the after credit scene, there really isn't an after credit, not a real one. Oh, yes.
That's all it's saying.
Yeah, it's literally saying,
You're saying bye.
get on
And
out.
here's the thing. I thought there was something to it.
Yeah.
Because it does a quick flash on the screen. So I'm like, maybe if you go back and you pause it, maybe you didn't see something. But yeah, there's no reason for you all. After sitting there for 3 hours, you all can go ahead and get the hell on.
Yeah, like this isn't like a Marvel movie where like, the movie's like maybe 2 to 2.5 hours and they're going to do like a little 1 minute something just to kind of tease what's coming next. This isn't one of those movies. This is a movie that literally says everything it has to say in one movie. And any teases or setups for future films or spinoffs, they are all in the movie itself. Dude, my God. Jonathan, you wildin'. You're wilding, sir. You are wilding. You are wilding. What are you doing? What are you doing? I think Carter will probably be the only one that gets what I mean when I say this, because I think he watches this streamer too. But I have one of those moments where like games with death, And like when people like donate money, he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like, what's happening?" That's where I'm at right now. We're gonna put some respect on that here in a minute, but I want to make sure I don't lose any of this other stuff. But Mr. Third said with the $5 super chat says bet. So it sounds like I should pay for me and nephew to see this tonight, depending on how old your nephew is. I mean, if they're as long as they're not like a small child, I think it's okay. The movie is not like. It's not like, oh my God, they're showing titties everywhere. No, it's not that. It's a very brutal affair, and it might paint a bad picture for what Batman is to a child. Because there's some parts, I'm not gonna lie, Batman kind of scared me a couple of times. When he come up out the darkness, there were a couple of shots where that dude just walked up like. Anyway, we'll get to it in a little bit. Anyway, Ed Boy the Cut with the 14 months as Batman does nothing. Everybody in the movie, Jesus, because that's exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, that's basically what it was. That's basically what it was. But like I said, we'll get to that here. Spoilers in a minute. Captain with a $5 super chat says, "I'm late. I'm sorry, guys, but had a late night. But wanted to say I love this movie. To me, best Batman movie in a very, very long time." And I agree. I agree with that. This is probably one of Carter. You said it's like what your number 2 Batman movie?
This is my number 2.
I would say this it's up there. It's up there. I would say number 2. I would even dare say it kind of tosses back and forth between, because I when it comes to Batman movies, some of them didn't age as well to me.
Why are you saying number 2? Because I said number 2. I'm sick of you with this tokenization you doing. Where you copying me because of what I said. Make your own spot.
Well, no, I was gonna say that The Dark Knight is still my favorite Batman movie. Mm-hmm. But this is right up there with it. So, like, they're kind of wrestling with each other for number 1 and number 2. So, it can probably change depending on what day you ask me, well, what's my favorite? I might think of something different and be like, oh, well, maybe it's The Dark Knight. Or another day I might be, actually, no, maybe it's the Batman. Like, it's up there. I would also dare say Robert Pattinson is quickly becoming my favorite Batman. Just because of how he portrays him, the way he... the gravitas that he has surrounding him when he enters a room. Like I really liked, and that's the other thing too. I really liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm sad we didn't get more of him. Even though I know we're getting him in the Flash, but it stands to reason this will be the last time we'll see him as Batman. But that was kind of why I was so sad that he walked away from the role and that we didn't get his Batman movie. But now, with the benefit of hindsight, I'm okay with that. Because I don't think it would have been as good as this. I don't know. Maybe it would have been. We'll never know. But yeah. And let's see. Got one here from Nick Carwell. Thank you for the 18 months. Has been 1.5 years, and I'm still hyped for vids. Man, we appreciate. Thank you. Thank you for that. Because sometimes I'm like, man, one of these days, motherfuckers gonna get tired of my ass. We also got another here from Cole with the $5 super chat. Says, good movie. We need Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Exhausted with all the different Jokers. Have we learned nothing? Oh, it's a thing. We'll address that here in a minute. Ed Boy the Cup with the $5 super chat says, okay, so the lady who played the mayor-elect cast her as Joe Mullen yesterday. Okay, so for those who don't know,
I think she had the same hairdo as Joe, didn't it?
Damn near. Here, I'm pulling her up. As we speak. For those who don't know, who we're talking about, her name is Jamie Lawson. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to remember. I've seen her. She plays one of the mayoral candidates, Bella Real. But for those who aren't familiar with her, she hasn't been in a lot of movies. She's a relatively new actress. Her first movie that she ever did was Farewell Armor. That
name was so corny.
What?
Her name was her name.
Farewell Amour, not Armor. Good Lord. Anyway, it's about Bella Real. Yeah, it was a silly name.
We got to make the sister real.
Anyway, but no, I like. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't know what this says about me as a human being, but when I first saw her, I because like it was kind of a quick shot that they show of her. I thought that she was Tiana Paris. I was like, God damn, Monica Rambeau getting 2 checks. She getting Marvel and DC money. But then I took a closer look and was like, oh no, that's a different woman. But no, she did a fantastic job in the movie as Bella Real. She was cool. I liked her. I liked what she brought. Like, for those that remember, she's actually the character you see in the trailers, who was at the funeral with Bruce and was basically saying, hey, you know, your family has a history of philanthropy. As far as I can tell, you're not doing anything.
And I remember the first time I saw that, I was just like, I felt like Bruce looked. Like how he looks at everybody. Yeah. That's like, if you don't get the fuck away from me.
Like, I'm breaking my back every night.
I don't. Even taking the Batman stuff out of the equation. Who the fuck are you coming up to me like?
Well, then once you get to the movie, you realize who she is. You're like, oh, okay, I see why she's asking this question. But let's keep it pushing. We also got another one here from Tubes. The one with the $10 super chat says, people see PG-13 like most see animation as a medium, like it's just for kids, but you'd be surprised what you can get away with in kids shows as long as you aren't using blood. For example, Hilda, a child, got beheaded. No, that's actually true. Here's the thing. And a lot of people always say, well, why do the Avengers movies, why do they always got to be fighting robots or aliens or monsters? The reason why is because you can be as violent as you want to be to a monster or an alien, a creature that is inhuman. Like, that's why, like, if they actually did in the Avengers movies, if they did to humans what they do to those robots and those aliens, those movies would be rated R. That's why they do it, so they can get away with more. But you can get away with a lot. There's a lot of PG-13 movies where there's all kinds of fucked up shit happening. But the thing is, it's all in how it's executed. And that's what people need to understand. Animation is not a cause to dismiss something as kid stuff. There are some, and I would even say some shows right now, not just back in the 80s and 90s, 60s, 70s, whatever, but even today that address really hardcore subject matter, but they're animated and people immediately write that. Like, what was it? One of my friends, they didn't know what the Legend of Vox Machina was. They just assumed it was a kid show. So they were going to have their kid, who was about roughly the same age as my daughter, who's 6, going on 7. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, this ain't a kid show. I was like, there's cussing, there's genitalia showing, there's clapping of cheeks, there's drug use. I was like, you might want to rethink that. And they were like, oh. And then when they went and watched it for themselves, came back there like, bro, I'm glad you told me. Because they thought this was something new for the baby to watch. I was like, Lord,
Daddy, this guy in Vox Machina does what I've seen you do to Mom.
Dude, I would be mortified. All right, John the Boat with a $200 super chat said, just a quick note, it was my birthday last Wednesday. By the way, happy motherfucking birthday. Happy belated. And says, and all the notes from Blerds in Discord, those that tagged my Facebook, and even those talented folk that found me on Insta, just thank you. Seriously, made a grown-ass man feel special. Thank you. Hey, well, for one, we appreciate you. More importantly than that, did you have a good time? That is the, if you, as long as you had a good birthday where you got to chill, ain't nobody got to ask you for nothing, it was a good day. I love it. Want to see more of it. Let's see. And like I said, and speaking of want to see more of it, I hope you have many, 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 many more happy birthdays. We got us another one here. Oh my God, y'all just pouring them out.
Yeah, they coming in.
Night 19 so with the $20 super chat says Peacemaker, GCPD, and the Batman related spinoffs are releasing after their respective movies. Why do you think they decided to have Green Lantern before the movie? Why forego the synergy? Okay, so I see what they're talking. They're talking about the Green Lantern series that's supposed to be coming out with HBO Max. Okay, so here's the thing, and this is something that DC has been doing lately, and it's kind of something I've been asking them to do for a long time. Sometimes shit just ain't got to be connected. Sometimes it can, sometimes it can't. I do kind of feel like whatever this Green Lantern series is, I hope it's connected because it would be cool if it was, but I have a sneaky suspicion that it's not. I would be shocked if it was. But granted, with the way everything's going with DC, it kind of seems like they're just trying to focus on telling good stories because the Batman movie, this new Batman movie is not connected to any of the other stuff.
It's in the same boat as the Joker.
Yeah, it's its own. Matter of fact, I even remember when Matt Reeves was asked if we would ever see Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in his movies, he said no.
Yeah.
So yeah, and just as you won't see Joaquin Phoenix Joker in any other DCEU movies, or you won't see Jared Leto show up in the Batman.
It's funny because this is basically what I asked for on several Blerd caves ago. Lord, we've been doing a lot of these things.
Dude.
I said that they should stop trying to go the Marvel route of trying to just do all these movies leading up to one big one, and more so go to their older quality animated movies where they were all their own different things. You didn't have to watch a bunch of these different animated movies just to get one cohesive stories. It was a different movie for different things. And that's basically what they did with this movie. So again, I got what I wanted. And I think we can all agree it was better off for it because it was a good film. And if they don't, if there is no sequel down the line, that's cool. Just like with the Joker, if there's no sequel down the line, that's great. You still have that one great movie that doesn't need to be fucked with. Right. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, no, I am the same. I'd like to say I've also been a huge supporter of the idea of just tell good stories. They don't have to be connected. I don't need connection and cohesiveness in every fucking movie that I have ever watched. I just don't. But that said, we got some more super chats here. Lawrence Ward with the $5 super chat says Bruce Wayne looked like Sling Blade the entire movie. I don't know about all that. I mean, he always had a strained look on his face sometimes, but I think it was because he was just in so much pain.
I don't think it was that. When we get into spoilers, I'll tell you what I think that is.
Okay. We also got one from the COBY with the $5 super chat says the Batman is the live action version of the Batman animated TV series.
No,
I won't go that far. I won't go that far either. But I will say there are some elements. It is similar. It is similar in that Gotham is a character. The city of Gotham is a character. And kind of the way that I would even make some comparisons between the way Bruce and Batman are portrayed as far as how Pattinson has subtle differentiation between the performances. Same as Kevin Conroy, his voice is one way as Bruce. He doesn't sound that much different when he's Batman, but he speaks in a lower register. Kind of same as what Robert Pattinson's doing. There is that. And it's not as whimsical. The movie's not as whimsical as the Batman, the animated series was. Even though it was still kind of grounded in some modicum of reality for a comic book-based television show, it was still whimsical in a lot of regards. But yeah, there is, but yeah, when it comes to performance, I will definitely say, I I will definitely say there might be some similarities there. Leonza Duncan with the $5 super chat says, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me. I'm the other Kevin from Trivia. I just discovered the channel and I love the movie. Saw it last night. Zoe was great as well. Hey, what's going on?" So yeah, back when I was doing a Cerrito Trivia. Yeah, dude, dude, that's awesome. Thank you. And I hope you are enjoying the content. Like I said, it's always good to know when people discover what I do. I don't ever talk about it because I don't know. Not that I'm ashamed, but sometimes it just doesn't come up in conversation. But thank you so much for the super chat, and I hope you're doing okay. Now we can. Okay, so now I'm taking down the no spoilers banner. We can talk about spoilers now.
And
so,
you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even think this was a spoiler, but this someone asked, let me if I can find it. Okay, Philly Born 21 said, "How does this Batman look alongside the Justice League?" To be honest, I don't see him and Superman going to happy hour at all.
No.
I don't see this iteration of Bruce Wayne going anywhere with anybody.
No.
Because you got to remember, this is a 2-year in Bruce Wayne, and the scene at the funeral. I think if you kind of pay attention to his body language, this is Bruce Wayne. I think a lot of people can feel him because this Bruce don't like people.
No, he doesn't.
He don't want to be around nobody in this movie.
When someone told, it was Alfred told him the accountants were coming by, he was like, ugh.
Yeah, and this is one of those rare moments where they're going back and forth, and Bruce is being like almost like whatever, nigga, just because.
Yeah.
Because that jab of "you're not my father," no Bruce Wayne we have seen would ever say some shit like that.
Ooh, no. Well, here's the thing. I love how Andy Serkis responded. I love how Alfred responded to it, because he just kind of looked at it, was like, all right. But you could tell he was like, motherfucker, I've been diapering your ass and feed you and clothe. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. The one thing I do want to say is, I love that everything was a character in the film, whether it be the bat signal was a character, the time of day, the darkness was a character.
Yes.
And that's what got me a bit excited when I started watching it, because everybody's entire demeanor changed when that signal went up.
Oh, dude.
It was like when you were younger and you're getting and you knew that was your ass when your mama got home, but you had put it in the back of your mind because you've had the whole day to not even think about it.
Oh yeah.
But then you hear that car pull up in the driveway.
It's like
you hear them tires hit that gravel, and you know that's your ass. That's I love. That's one of my favorite parts. Just because, since we are getting into spoilers now, there was one guy, he was robbing a liquor store.
Yes.
And he looks up and he sees the bat signal, and
his whole demeanor changes.
It was funny because, and Bruce is doing a monologue over this, saying to him it's a signal, but to everybody else is a warning. And the dude is running in the alley, or he's about to run in the alley, and he sees the signal, and he looks in the alley, and that alley is pitch black. Batman ain't nowhere over there, but it's the thought.
Yeah.
That motherfucker could be in there.
That dude got hit by a car trying to get away from that alley. But he wasn't the only one. There's shortly after that, there's a shot where they show some people, like, I think they're like, I guess they were either robbing a bank or breaking or
it looked like they
were tagging something.
Yeah.
And then when the dude looked, I think he was looking back into the building because it was pitch black, and he looked back, it was like, he saw that signal. Was like, oh shit, Batman might be in there. And then that motherfucker took off. And even what was it, the guys, the guys with the clown
that you all have
makeup.
seen in the trailers.
Yeah, getting their asses
that caught
beat.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, like even they, like when they see the symbol, I don't even think they pay attention to the symbol.
Yeah, they didn't pay attention to it.
It was only the one kid in the group who paid attention to it because he had some sense. He was like, "Ooh, I don't know about this." He was like, "I don't know if this is the move." Leave it to be the one person of color that was in that group that was like, "No, this ain't it." But there's another part in the movie where I'm not gonna lie, it actually caught me off guard because there's a part where, like, when the was it the DA? Who's Peter Skarsgård, by the way, didn't even know he was in the movie.
Everybody in my theater started laughing because they're like, where the fuck did he come from?
Right? Yeah. But it was like, dude, you see the shadows, and like you could tell he's looking at something. And then when Batman just pulls up out of the shadow, and you see this in night vision and in normal vision, like side by side, because there's like a bomb unit droid that's in the room with him. That shit was kind of it was cool as fuck, but it was kind of high key terrifying. I was like, dude, I didn't know that motherfucker was, like, I had a feeling somebody was gonna come out of there that would be him, but it just looked really cool to me. But
I'll tell you something. Just to go back to it, it's more to your point as well, but like I was bringing up how the darkness itself was a character. And somebody in the chat said it almost felt like horror vibes because there's a lot of times where you don't see Batman.
Yeah,
that's like some Jason shit. You just hear them boots.
Oh,
you hear them Timberlands walking up on you. That's all you hear. You don't see nothing.
And that actually happened at the beginning of the movie when he goes up against those the dudes in the clown makeup. You hear that, you like it almost kind of it sounded like an old western. You heard like almost like he had spurs, or you hear the chink, chink, every time he took a step. And it was just like, and he wasn't trying to hide who he was. He wasn't trying to sneak up on anybody. He let them know he was coming.
He was just walking.
Yeah, he was just walking. I also like how he had some really interesting tech. Some of it was stuff that, like, could be a thing. Some of it was stuff I was like, okay. But I like how he discovered smoke bombs in the movie. Like, it was one of those things he was like, I can use this. Even the bat symbol on his chest was
an instrument.
It was an instrument, like, because he would take that junk off and just start, like, because it was bladed. He was using it as a cutting tool, and I think he even used it as a weapon at one point. But and he would just put that motherfucker back and keep on going.
Can we talk about the cinematography real quick?
Yeah.
One of my favorite shots. Well, there are two things I want to ask you. And after I got out of the theater, I wanted to fuck with you, but also prepare you.
Yeah.
But before I get to that, one of my favorite shots in the movie actually happens at the very beginning, where you think you're looking at Bruce and his family, but it's the Riddler's first victim.
Yeah.
I love how they're showing this guy, he's watching the news, and then he takes a phone call, and then he walks off.
And the Riddler's right behind him.
He's right there. And your eyes have to focus because it's so dark when he cuts the TV off. Ever since watching Breaking Bad with like the cinematography that they did in that show, I fuck with cinematography now. So like that shot was really cool.
Oh no, I loved it. I fucking loved it.
But what I was gonna ask you was since you gave flack to a certain individual for it, how you feel about all them out of focus shots there, big dog?
Oh, well, no, here's the thing. They were used effectively, though. It wasn't just like, oh, we're out of focus, like repeatedly over to the point that it was making me nauseated. But it was used in a way that was like, it made sense. It made sense to me. Like, it was, and there was even some moments I didn't even notice it. But that's the thing, though. That's the difference between when you're doing it in an artistic manner to actually prove a point, to like enhance a scene, as opposed to just making a motherfucker go out of focus and out because you think it looks cool. Like that's my issue with Zack Snyder. He doesn't do shit because it actually enhances the film. He does it because it looks cool. That's what he does. He even has said that shit before. He does shit because it looks cool. Same reason why J.J. Abrams puts lens flares in every fucking thing he does. It's because it looks cool. Doesn't enhance the story. Doesn't change anything. Just they think it looks cool. It's the same reason why Quentin Tarantino focuses on women's feet a lot in the movie. Because he's a foot freak. He likes feet. It ain't because the shit enhances the story. Dude's just a freak. He's like, look. He's like,
welcome to our Batman review. Quentin Tarantino likes feet.
I mean, he does. I mean, this is matter of public record. He's even said this shit. But no, I liked it because, yeah, everything that was done here, Matt Reeves knew. And once again, this shouldn't even be a surprise to anybody. Matt Reeves, who, if I'm not mistaken, the mastermind behind the Apes trilogy.
So come to find out, he did 2 and 3.
He did 2 and 3. Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't do Dawn. But he honestly, he did the 2 better movies.
The 2 that matter.
The 2 that matter. I mean, don't get me wrong. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I like that movie. It's a good movie. But the movie basically did, and I mean, it did what the title said. It was the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So it was the very beginning. It hadn't happened yet.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that title.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, all of the titles are overly long. But like, when you got to, what was it, Rise, and War, it was like, now we getting somewhere.
The toes enhance the plot.
The toes. Look, the plot.
I wish we did this as a podcast. Blerd Cave number 145. He likes feet. That's all.
That's what it should be. But no, I here's the thing. Let's talk about the biggest spoiler. Let's get the biggest spoiler out of the way, because I know it's the one that everybody's probably wondering about. This is actually something Carter and I reported on some months ago. And I remember when it came up, I was cautiously skeptical of it because of the nature of how it was revealed. But a ways back, actor Barry Keoghan, who most people might know from the movie Dunkirk, but more recently,
the asshole kid from the Eternals.
Yeah, he was Druig, which, by the way, we can actually take this down now. We don't need that anymore. Yeah, he was Druig in the Eternals. And one of the things, I even talked about this when I did my video, breaking down the character Druig, talking about, the fact that Barry Keoghan was playing in the movie, talking about movies he might be in. One of the things I did bring up is that he was rumored to be in the Batman, but nobody knew who the fuck he was playing. Like, no one knew who his character was, or no one was talking about it.
Yeah, and then they said that he was going to be Gordon's old partner.
Yeah, they threw out a lot of red herrings. And then there was another rumor that went around that was basically like, oh, well, there's 2 different cuts of the movie, and in one of the cuts, there's a certain actor who is in it, and then there's another cut where that same actor is not in it. And apparently they kind of split the middle ground here, because even though there is a scene with Barry Keoghan in it, apparently there was another scene that he was supposed to be in as well, where he meets with Batman. But I'm glad they took it out, because it wouldn't have made sense. It wouldn't have made sense if he would have talked to him prior to this. But basically what they were talking about is Barry Keoghan, who, once again, I'll pull him back up. Barry Keoghan is playing the Joker in this universe. He went after Riddler is captured, and he is sent to Arkham Asylum. He is put in a cell right next to the Joker. And where Carter so eloquently said, so it looks like the next one's gonna be the war, jokes, and riddles, huh? But no, this one, in this particular instance, we don't really get enough dialogue out of him to know what kind of Joker he's going to be, at least not 100%. Honestly, I kind of felt like the Joker, the vibes he was giving me, kind of reminded me. Carter, do you remember? I don't want to say not necessarily Scott Snyder's early Joker from like from New 52, but I kind of got a mix of that, like the way his vibe, because he wasn't really joking. He wasn't constantly sniggling and laughing all the time, but he kind of reminded me. Did you ever read Batman Rest in Peace?
Yes.
Okay. He kind of reminded me of like a mix of Grant Morrison's Joker and Scott Snyder's Joker. I don't know if that...
You think Barry finna be cutting his goddamn face off sometime soon, big dog?
I mean, you never know. You never know.
And that was actually my one complaint with this movie when you and I discussed it, was just that I don't know if it's just Joker fatigue, but just like that was my only thing. I was just like, oh, it could have been anybody else.
Yeah. I mean,
and for a split second, I didn't know if that was a new character or if it was who Batman beat up at the end. That's who I thought it was.
Honestly, if they wrote it, I mean, they showed the guy's face. But if that would have been the case, that would have been hilarious. Yeah. I didn't have as big a problem with this because it's one of those things where it's like, if I watch a Superman movie, I assume Lex Luthor is going to show up at some point. If I watch an X-Men movie, Magneto's gonna be around the corner somewhere, even if they don't, like, kind of like what they did with Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movies. A lot of people are like, oh, well, why don't they do Green Goblin? Why don't they do Dr. Octopus? Like, because they've already done those, and they saved them for No Way Home because reasons. But for me, it was one of those situations where I didn't give a fuck about the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, so I watched it one time, and I've never seen it again. I will never see it again. That movie it's something that happened in the year that it came out. That's how I view it. And the Gotham TV show Joker, they spent so much time teasing and will he or won't he, that whole thing. By the time he actually showed up on the show, I didn't give a fuck. I wasn't even watching it anymore by that point. I had long since stopped watching it. So it doesn't bother me. Because, I mean, honestly, I do feel like you kind of have to have Joker around at some point. Like, even if they didn't do it here, I don't even think he's going to be, like, the main focus of whatever the next movie is. It might just be something they were saying, hey, this is a thing that now exists. Because Matt Reeves said his next villain he wanted to do was Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
So, you never know. But they've clearly shown they have no problem showcasing multiple villains in a single movie. Because that's another thing that people aren't talking about enough. Is John Turturro. Turturro,
not a lot of people even knew he was in the fucking movie, like Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah, Peter Sarsgaard. People didn't know he was in the movie. People didn't know that. Because John Turturro is in the movie as Carmine Falcone, the Rose. I picked this is the goofiest picture ever of him, but like he actually looks like a mob boss when you actually see this movie. We actually see him in the movie. He looks like a fucking mob boss. Like he actually was believable. He was believable. Once again, going back to some of the other things going on in the movie, in regards to once again we had the twins. You had the Iceberg Lounge. You had, of course, you had the Penguin, and the Penguin's gonna be getting more screen time coming up in the future. So they have a lot of basically, okay. So this is what Matt Reeves did that I actually think every Batman movie should have been doing from the jump. Is he set up a universe where all of these characters exist in the same place at the same time, and villains aren't just getting unceremoniously killed left and right. With the exception of one. Supposedly. But basically what they are doing is they're letting you know all of these people are out here. So you know that the Riddler's out there, the Penguin's out there, the Joker's out there, Catwoman is out there, and they can all exist in the same movie at the same time, even if they're not the main portion of it. That's what I like, because that's what a Batman comic is like. In any given Batman comic, you might see 5 different Bat villains. But the thing I really wanted to jump on, though, Carter, and this is something that me and you laughed about. is I want to talk about that the third act fight scene, which is when the Riddler. Okay, so I said this movie is very political. There's a reason for it. I'm not just talking about the Riddler's going after corrupt politicians and police officers. No, I'm not just talking about that. What I'm talking about is how he organizes them. So basically, what we learn is that he has henchmen. He has people who are working with him, which is probably why he's able to get so much shit done. Even though a lot of the time we see the Riddler, he's seemingly working by himself. But when you get to the finale and you see that he has all of these different people who are working for him who are dressed up exactly like him, even wearing his glasses.
They subscribed to his Patreon.
Yeah, they did. They really did. Dude, they were basically like Patreon subscribers. These dudes were literally...
I forgot what they call them in the movie. But
yeah.
That was the one part everybody started laughing. Like, what? Did he just think? Because he stopped being
the Riddler. He started being himself.
That was nasty. That was thanking people for subscribing and for the donations. I just said, oh my Lord.
And the advice. There were people who were giving him advice about what type of mask to use, what type of guns to use, what type of explosives to use. Like the mask that he's wearing, they actually told him where to get that mask from. Because I think they said it was like a military winter mask or something.
Yeah, so it was like an army surplus.
Yeah, like all the shit that it was all stuff from like army surplus. And basically what was kind of hilarious about this to me and also kind of terrifying at the same time is that this isn't unrealistic. This is what the Proud Boys are. Like all of those white supremacist and white nationalist groups that we actually have in the real world, all those people that you saw storming the Capitol on January 6th, I gesture to you the Joker. Or not Joker, but the Riddler. But yeah, basically what he was doing is, like, it answered the question, remember how Carter, me and you've even joked about this. Like how does Joker keep henchmen? Motherfucker's crazy. It's not money. It's because this guy, the Riddler, he appealed to these people's darker nature. He inspired them. Like, it's the same way when you go on these message boards and you see all these white supremacists coming together and mounting up, all of these American terrorists coming together and mounting up. That's basically what it was. And it even played out that way with all these people coming out with their own costumes, just like his, and sporting guns. One of them gave Batman that work with that Caldwell rifle.
A lot of you all won't understand that what we're talking about if you haven't played Hunt Showdown, but basically we talking about when that double barrel told Batman sit his ass down somewhere at the end.
That man
he got yeeted off that motherfucking platform.
He even did those are no in Hunt Showdown, when you die or you kill somebody, they let out the ugliest scream. It's like a he made the same noise. I think Matt Reeves plays Hunt Showdown. I have a sneaking suspicion he plays Hunt Showdown. But but no. Also, the funny thing about that though was in that same scene, because Batman he's out of it. He's been laid out.
Yeah, and
he needs something to pick himself back up because Selena's in danger. We actually talked about this. Whether at first I thought maybe that's just adrenaline, but they focused a little too long on the vial, so it made me wonder.
I saw that it was green for it was a blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah.
But it was green and it looked like it lit up.
Yeah.
It looked like it was bright.
Yeah, it looked very bright. They lingered on, I mean, it wasn't like they just focused on it, but they lingered on it just long enough that you would be like, what is that? And Batman literally just shoots up and just starts whipping ass. And like
everybody looked at him like, hey, chill out, big dog.
Well, I thought he's about to kill.
Looking at him like, oh, Gordon came up there like, hold on, big time.
He's like, he's down. He's down. But
so
no, yeah, I think that might have been Venom.
Yeah, that's what I think. As soon as I saw it was green and it lit up a little bit, I said, it's very subtle how they're doing this, even if this is a one-off movie. So I'm like, okay. So he just took Venom and whooped bruh ass.
I thought it killed him at first. I actually thought it killed him. But the other thing too, the Batmobile. We never talked about Batmobile. Also a character. That car is terrifying. Because whenever you would just hear that motherfucker go, it's like, oh shit. Like, bats? Is that you or is that a demon? But no, I love the Batmobile in this one. This might be my favorite Batmobile in a movie so far.
I don't know though, but it looked like he didn't put enough gas in that motherfucker first time you see it. But then
dude, that rocket fuel kick in though.
But then somebody else, when I was walking out of the theater, they said it was almost like they said the Batmobile, it was almost like a horror movie though, bro. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, when it came on and it just jerked like that, he was like, think of that was like a horror movie. And he said, the way he said it was, think if that was Freddy Krueger seeing his victim or somebody, and he just said, boom.
Yeah.
That's what the car did. So I'm like, okay, that's a dope way to think about that.
It was. That was definitely in there. That was definitely in there.
Yeah. Can we talk about how? What's a way to say this? The Waynes were, and I know you didn't.
Okay.
There was a novel that came out before this, or before the film came out.
The prequel novel. The
prequel novel. Because one thing we didn't talk about was that Bruce ain't living in the Wayne Manor.
No, he's not.
Because the Wayne Manor in this film was turned into an orphanage by his dad, because his dad was on a mayoral run. But this was not the American-made apple pie Wayne family we have seen before.
They actually delved into some of the other, like some of the stuff that gets teased at in like the Long Halloween, and even Scott Snyder's Batman from the New 52. They borrow some elements from that.
But yeah, it looks like this Thomas Wayne actually borrowed some shit from Earth too, because this Thomas Wayne got bodies.
Oh yeah, no, it's okay, so this is why it was hilarious to me though, because like that was the one thing I said I didn't want to see. I don't want to see Thomas and Martha Wayne getting gunned down the street. I want to see Martha's pearls breaking and hitting the pavement. We didn't see not Nan Pearl hit the pavement. Yeah. We don't even see them get killed. It's just talked about. Yeah. It's just talked about. But one of the things I thought was interesting was, they did borrow some of that from like the Earth 2 stuff and like the Scott Snyder stuff. The idea that Thomas had mob connections. The idea that he had mobster connections, which he is connected to Carmine Falcone. This is actually something that comes up in the Long Halloween as well. But basically what's going on here is that you've got this connection in that Thomas Wayne, the reason why the Riddler is going after everybody is because he was a kid at that orphanage. He was there when Thomas gave the speech, and the whole thing about Gotham renewal and basically creating jobs and homes and building a better Gotham. All that money went away when Thomas died because Thomas didn't want this guy who wasn't the guy's last name Elliot.
It was Elliot. I think it was. Oh God, it was something Elliot, and then. Oh fuck! I can't remember his first name, but I think Mark Reeves knew what he was doing, because the reporter's last name was Elliot, and then Riddler brought something up, and then Hush just comes on the fucking screen.
Yep, and I'm not gonna lie, the way the Riddler was being used kind of reminded me of Hush in some ways, because especially with how they did the mask, but like he wasn't trying to be Hush. He was clearly trying to be the Riddler, but they definitely set up Hush in this movie. If by no other way than just an Easter egg. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some of Batman's other more like down-to-earth villains, I wouldn't be surprised if they spin out of Riddler. Like they came from, they're people who were a part of Riddler's little community that he had built.
Yeah. I was getting almost Bane. He almost had the same kind of what's the fucking word I'm looking for? Agenda. That it looked like Bane had in The Dark Knight Rises, where basically he wants to show the corruption of the city and get the people people on his side. That was basically his whole thing.
Right.
Because his hatred for the rich and the Waynes specifically, it was actually discussed in the prequel novel because the Riddler was one of those orphans that was in Wayne Manor. And the one thing that novel talked about was how there was a huge mural of the Waynes in the manor. So he always felt like it was Bruce looking, and it was the rest
looking
of those
down on him. That's why he wanted to go after. That's why he wanted to go after Bruce in the movie. Yeah. Well, and also because he felt that, like, you know, to at least some extent, he understood and knew that Thomas Wayne put a hit out on somebody, which when they later it comes out that maybe it wasn't so much a hit as it was he just wanted someone to be silenced, not necessarily killed, but it clearly came out that Thomas thought that, you know, Carmine Falcone went too far, and the fact that Thomas was going to go to the police is why Carmine Falcone had Thomas and Martha Wayne killed. But we don't know that, though. It's an unreliable story. It's because like you hear, like, Carmine Falcone tells you one story.
He says Maroney did it.
Yeah, he says Maroney did it. But yeah, we later get info that says, nah, it wasn't.
Like was it Alfred?
Yeah. I think it was Alfred.
Was it Alfred who told him? I think it was
Alfred. If I remember, like, that part of the film got a little hazy to me just because, like, that was when I started noticing the last 30 minutes. But the whole thing, but yeah, once again, there were so many, I wasn't 100% crazy about how they connected Selena to Carmine. I kind of almost wish that she was just separate. But it did make it a little more interesting. It kind of gave her a little more reason to feel the way she felt about him. Because in this movie, they basically let you know that's her pappy. She's the bastard child of or whatever. You have that, and oh my God, there was something else that had kind of struck me a little bit. But yeah, basically, the Riddler, his whole thing is like, I want to take out all the corrupt politicians, all the corrupt police officers, everybody that was misusing the renewal fund, because that was the other thing, is that the money that Thomas had put into the renewal fund, nothing happened to it because he died, so it didn't get carried out. So all these corrupt police and politicians and Carmine Falcone are just using it. And I was like, dude, that actually sounds like some shit that would actually happen and probably has happened in real life. Also, I love the mention of Bloodhaven at the end. Selena says, I'm going to Bloodhaven. I thought that was a nice little touch.
Before we even get to that, when Batman and the Riddler finally have that conversation in
face
prison,
to face,
I love the way it made Bruce believe. It made you, me, and everybody in the theater believe. Even when the trailer came out, and he says, "I thought you were smarter." I thought you were
smarter than that. Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne, and
that
part was dope.
Yeah, because they made the trailers made you think that Riddler actually knew who he was.
And the scene itself in the movie makes you think, because he is going in, and you could see Batman's walls kind of coming down. He's like, shit!
He's like, his eyes. He's like, this is why you don't white out the eyes. This is why you don't white out the eyes, because he has a look on his face that if he had white eyes, you wouldn't have caught it. You would not, and he would have had to do an emote that was more visual with his lips and his mouth to give the and it would have just seemed too obvious. But because you can see Pattinson's eyes, you can tell that he's scared shitless that Riddler knows who he really is.
Yeah, and then
but he actually doesn't.
Yeah, and he says one thing, and you're like, oh shit, he doesn't.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
That's good storytelling.
Yes, that's why you keep the eyes. Like, okay, yeah. There's some characters you don't need to see the eyes. Like the new Moon Knight, the Moon Knight TV show's coming out. When he's in the Mr. Knight mask, or even just in the Moon Knight mask, his eyes he has the whited out eyes. That looks cool because it fits the character. I don't really need to see Oscar Isaac's eyes. I mean, it'd probably be nice to, but it would look weird if I could see his eyes. It actually would look cooler if you don't see them. But in the case of Batman, a character who needs to emote, this is why they do it. This is precisely why they do it. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot about it. But yeah, there's a lot. There's really a lot that you could talk about with this movie.
The other reason it was stuck in my head is because that's the first time where like it was like Matt Reeves told Paul Dano, let it out. So when Batman is not in agreement with the Riddler, and Paul Dano just starts freaking out and screaming and hollering.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what it was? He was the Karen. You know, like we see all these videos with the Karens. They call the police on black folks, and then when it backfires, they lay on the floor, be crying and hollering and screaming. That's basically what Paul Dano did.
Oh,
that's what he did, and I loved it. I fucking loved it. I guess that's really. I mean that's it. I guess that's it. That's really all there is. I guess let's get into these super chats, man, because we got a lot. Raymond Pope with the 1999 the Batman edition super chat says, I wanted the white eyes and for the Batmobile to be more than just a fast car, but it was still good. Paid for by the hands of BB #DC. Where that ninja's icon and hardware at LOL. Well, once again, it's funny you bring it up because we literally just that's the reason why it worked out better that way. But yeah. Icon and hardware, you'll be seeing them soon. They got a movie coming up. It's an animated movie, but you'll be seeing them. You will be seeing them. Don't worry about that. But yeah, the Batmobile I thought was fine. It was what, because here's the thing, we got to remember, this isn't Batman at the height of his superhero career. He's still just starting. Like, this is, this isn't Batman year 1. This is Batman year 2.
Yeah.
Basically.
It was trippy that this movie took place. If you remember how he started it to where it ended, this entire movie took place over 5 days. Gotham is horrible.
Yes. Also, I love how the National Guard had to come in because they literally broke the walls of the city. Gotham just getting flooded. So that's probably another reason, because I think they said there's going to be a time skip, possibly with a future sequel. Like, it might not be immediately after this one. Like, it might take maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 years apart from this one, which I'm fine with if that's the case. But I love how the ending of the movie basically lets you know that Batman realizes he has to be more than just vengeance. Like, he realized, I need to inspire hope. Because that's actually, and a lot of people who aren't paying attention won't probably notice this, but at the beginning of the movie, when he saves that one guy who's getting jumped by those clowns,
that dude was scared shitless.
Dude, he was terrified. He peed himself. They didn't show it, but he peed himself. But then when he's actually trying to save Bella Real, the who becomes mayor, and then the other people. What happened?
It just pissed me off because you saw what he did. Yo, goofy ass. No, I have to let the people know everything is all right. Wow! Immediately caught one. Sit your goofy ass down.
Look, she caught that carabiner.
I swear, she got on my fucking nerves. That would be the one thing. She got on my fucking nerves. And then you see the Batman. At this point, this is where that Batman plot armor come in. At this point, this motherfucker just electrocuted himself. And then plummeted all the way in the goddamn water and still reached the hand out to be like, I got you. And your ass just, bitch, if you don't get your ass back here.
Look,
I done got shot in the chest. I got shot several times. Electrocuted myself and then smacked water.
Well, he said, I took a Caldwell rifle at point blank range and you gonna sit here and recoil from me? He's like, you ain't recoil from that carabiner to hit your ass. but no, I love that, like, he realizes that he does terrify not just the criminals, but he terrifies the people that he's supposed to be protecting. And I like the fact that, like, when you get to the end, because that scene we see in the trailers, where he's staring up He's staring up at the sky. You realize that is actually at the ass end of the fucking movie. But like it's at right after that moment where it's like the kid that he saved. They were just like they were scared, but they saw him and realized he was there to help, and it made him change how he views how he presents himself. Which, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still gonna try and scare the fuck out of criminals, but he's probably in future movies probably gonna try and make himself more accessible to other people so that they aren't afraid of him, that they now understand that he's out there for them, to protect them, not to hurt them. That, and not only that, but his cooperation with the police and the National Guard, the Army, all that stuff. I thought, like, I love how it progressed because, yeah, like you said earlier, how is Gordon getting this guy on the crimes? Of course, obviously, he's doing something he shouldn't be doing, but I like the idea that they kind of slowly built up to, like, what was it at the end of, the 1989 Batman, and even the Batman Begins to an extent. It was like, Batman did this one thing. All right, cool. He's in. He's in. We got him. He's all right with us. Everybody, he's cool, y'all. Yeah, come on in, man. Sit down, man.
That's all I was saying.
Nice peach tea.
God, but that's why I said Gordon had a lot of rope in this movie. But I like the fact that he was the one that kind of kept him in check, because the one police station saying people kept fucking with that mask.
Oh, dude. You see when that brother tried to grab it? He was like, man, give me that mask. And man, Batman just bop. But no, I loved how they showed the progression that when you get to the end of it, Batman is someone who is supposed to be a symbol of hope for those that he's trying to save, not a symbol of terror for everyone. I thought I did enjoy that. Let's see, was it the Ninja Genko with the $20 super chat says the dark came across like a shadow, could snatch the life out of you. It really did. Every time there was darkness, I just assumed Batman was in there. Yeah. I was like, oh no, Batman in there somewhere. CT Cook with the $5 super chat says, Bummer they didn't do anything with the owls. Disappointed that everything led to Falcone as a big bad. Hope they pump the brakes on Joker. I don't think Joker's going to be the main guy in the next movie. I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think he's going to be the main guy in the next movie. I think they're going to continue what they've been doing, which is like the rise of Penguin. I think you don't want to jump to the owls. The Court of Owls so early. Yeah. Like, you can't just... Like, I mean, I know we got spoiled with Scott Snyder's Batman when New 52 kicked off, and they just literally leapt right into the Court of Owls. But that was the thing. That was a Batman who had already been operating for a decent minute. And we're already familiar enough with Batman that the shit that they were revealing and the way they were fucking with Batman made more sense. And I feel like this Batman wasn't ready yet. I think... If you do the Court of Owls, that's a third movie deal, as far as I'm concerned. I feel like because we got a young Batman, and by the time we see him again, he'll be a slightly more experienced Batman, but not to the level that like honestly, if you were to do everything as a trilogy, which kind of seems to be the way everything goes nowadays, and for a long time, I would say the Court of Owls for like the thing that like puts him in real actual danger. You could do it for a second movie, but I don't know if it would be as effective. But I wouldn't be mad at him if they did it. But it's not something I would start a movie with because the city's just getting used to the idea of Batman. Yep. So there you go. Gokon Shuri's baby's father with a $5 super chat says, hey guys, what if y'all was buying edibles out in the street in Gotham and the bat signal lit up? Y'all running? Or be savages and stay outside. I'm gonna go and tell y'all right now, if I saw the bat signal up, I don't think Batman would beat my ass for buying edibles. But he might beat the fuck out of the dude that was selling them to me. So I would just be like, yeah, man, hurry up, get my shit so I can go. But no, it's it's interesting. Let me ask you a question, Carter. I don't know how you feel about this, but the funeral. Remember the funeral scene where he was talking to Bella, and she goes to motion over towards the kid, Mayor Mitchell's kid, who's orphaned by this. And the first thing, I don't know if you thought about this, but the first thing that crossed my mind is when Bruce was looking at him, I was like, man, don't turn this kid into no goddamn Robin.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that.
I was like, don't turn this kid into no goddamn Robin.
I wasn't thinking about that at all. Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, I don't think they'll. I'm not saying they are going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
But
That was the first. I just, honestly, she was getting on my nerves. And plus, I just remembered, okay, this is the scene from the trailer. That was the only thing going in my head. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, Bella Real didn't bother me because, I mean, honestly, it's one of those situations where she's operating with knowledge, with a lack of knowledge that we, the audience, have. I mean, honestly, divorced of the idea that Bruce Wayne is Batman, I'd be asking Bruce the same shit. Be like, yeah, man, your mom and your daddy, they doing shit for the city. You don't do a goddamn thing. All you do is just chill in your house, in the Wayne Tower.
Well, you'd be mad how some random just walk up on you saying some shit like that. That was like that dude tried to go off on me because of that shit you said in the cave. But
well, no, I get that. That part's a little different though, just because like Bruce is a public figure, even though he's a recluse, he's a public figure. And she is, or was at the time, a mayoral candidate. So, I mean, I see what she was angling for. She was trying to figure out a way to get him to start doing something for the city on a more public level, which I think will actually pay dividends in future movies, where Bruce will actually start doing shit. Because really, at this point, this isn't the Batman from like the comics where like he's got the Wayne Foundation, he's got the Wayne Fund to protect the children, the Wayne Fund to make sure the police are properly funded, the Wayne Fund to make sure that the homeless people are being taken care of. This isn't that Bruce Wayne. This isn't Gotham. This isn't Gotham's favorite son. This is Gotham's son that ran off to college, been smoking weed, and then got emo as fuck, and then came back, and now he just sits in his room, plays PlayStation all day. That's the public perception that Gotham has him. So I totally got why she laid into his ass. It wasn't like she wasn't trying to like put him down. She was like, hey, can we work? Like she was trying to angle to be like, hey, can we work together? Yeah. Which I was perfectly fine with. But yeah, she was stupid in the idea that she was like, oh, these people are shooting and flooding the place. Yeah, I'm going to go step out and say something. I get what she was going for, but it wasn't a wise decision. I get it from a story standpoint. From a human perspective, it was a silly maneuver.
Okay. So two things. Shaman 05 line saying, so Skarsgård is going to be Two-Face? No, Skarsgård is going to be blown off because he is gone.
Yeah, he did.
Oh man,
yeah, Peter Sarsgaard is no longer with us.
That's where that first instance of Batman plot armor came in, because that explosion was point blank to the face.
Oh yeah, I was like, bruh. I was like, he alive? Damn.
No. As somebody else brought up the fact that we have to admit though, that's no longer Edward, that's Master Bruce. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
He had a lot of you all that keep bringing up Twilight. I'm just going to say it. Even if you like me more than Ernie, or you just like the Blerd Cave as a whole, and you love everything that this channel does, you love the Blerd Cave, allow me to just call you lame.
This man did not take the L from Voldemort to be known as Edward.
If you still bringing up Twilight in 2022, with all the films that this dude has done, shit, Tenet being one of the more recent ones, where a lot of motherfuckers say he was the best part of Tenet.
Yeah, actually,
if you still bringing up Twilight,
that movie came out 10 years ago.
You're lame. You're corny. Don't talk to me.
That's like still holding Ben Affleck accountable for Gigli. It's like that was like so long ago. Like the Twilight. Okay, I literally have it in front of me. Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2, which is the final Twilight movie, came out in 2012. It is 2022. Why are we still holding this man accountable for being in some movies that he didn't direct and he only did for a check? Just like I don't come to y'all's place and give y'all shit for working where y'all work.
y'all are corny. You all are just as corny as those people that still keep bringing up the Halle Berry Catwoman movie. Shut up.
It's like, dude, she's been in so many other movies that were
Shut up.
It's like a person makes one mistake. Like what? Or not even a mistake. They just do something. Because here's the thing what y'all understand. I'm gonna put y'all on game real quick. Do you understand why actors take the roles that they take? Sometimes it's not because they want to be in them. Sometimes it's for a check. I don't know if some of y'all know this story, but I've actually talked about this before on The Cave, but the original Friday the 13th movie, the original one, not the remakes, not the sequels. I'm talking about the original 1980 Friday the 13th. The woman that everyone has basically talked about and gushed about as being the best twist in the history of horror movie plot twist. Betsy Palmer, the woman who played Jason Voorhees' mom, who was the original killer in the Friday 13th movies. Do y'all know why she took that movie? It wasn't because she wanted to be in it. She didn't. She was very vocal about the fact that she was in that movie strictly because she needed a new car. And she negotiated that they pay her exactly the amount of money that she needed to get a new car and get all that taken care of. And that is why she was in the movie. She did not want to be in that movie. Some people do movies because they got to pay for shit.
Yeah, I saw it in the chat a few times. I'm just like, bruh.
Yeah.
You got to get the fuck up out of here with that, dog.
What was Taraji P. Henson, I remember once said some shit talking about the movies that she had been in and TV shows. That when people said, oh, when she was not Empire, but
Baby Boy.
Well, no, there was Baby Boy. But no, it was I'm talking about there was a TV show. I forget the name of it.
Oh, you talking about Without a Trace?
Yeah, without.
Oh no. Person of interest.
Person of interest. Yeah, person of interest. So when she got on that show, everybody was like, "Oh, you big time now. You big time now." And she was like, "No, because I still got to pay my agent. I still got to pay taxes. I still got to pay my my SAG fees. I still got to pay all this shit and pay for an expensive ass apartment to live in the city that I am working in." So yeah. Actors, well, yes, they make a lot of money. That they don't get to keep a lot of that money. So yeah, let's leave him alone on Twilight. Can we? I'm not gonna sit here and keep bringing up Wild Wild West every time Will Smith's name comes up. I'm not gonna sit here and bring up what was that movie? Do you remember Samuel Jackson was in that one movie where he had what was it Formula 51? Was that the name of the movie?
Oh, God, I forgot about that movie.
Dude, I'm not going to bring up Formula 51 every time. Yeah, that movie came out in 2001, by the way. I'm not going to bring up Formula 51 every time I see Samuel Jackson. Leave that man alone. He has done so much other shit. But that said...
Why that movie?
Because that was the dumbest fucking movie I could think of that Samuel Jackson has ever fucking done. And
I so forgot about that movie.
Oh, no. I haven't.
What? That's like when motherfuckers, anytime you bring up fucking Ice Cube, motherfuckers bring up Torque. You remember Torque?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I remember. I actually was watching that shit the other day.
Oh, you're nasty. Dude, you are nasty.
I was on a, what was the other one? There was another movie he did. What was the one where was Formula 51 where he had the
Samuel Jackson had the drug in Formula 51.
Yeah, he had the drug. That was where he had the drug. There was another movie he did that was also equally as fucking stupid.
I don't want to move past the fact that you are nasty for watching Torque for some reason. You get a nasty award on the Blerd Cave today for watching fucking Torque. Okay,
I'm not gonna lie. The movie's stupid. But I do actually enjoy it. I actually enjoy it for how stupid it is.
If you tell me you watch Biker Boys right behind it, I'll leave this goddamn show right now.
Here's the funny thing. I actually do not like Biker Boys. I like Torque because Torque is fucking stupid and it you know how the Fast and Furious movies embrace how fucking dumb they are now? That was Torque, but before Fast and Furious embraced their stupidity. If Torque came out now, people wouldn't even so much as bat an eyelash. Yeah. But yeah, Torque realized what it was. Biker
were you talking
Boys
about Deep Blue Sea? People in the chat think you're talking about Deep Blue Sea. Samuel Jackson?
No, not Deep Blue Sea. There was some other movie. I forget what it was. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember which movie was he wearing the kilt in Formula 51? What was the movie where Samuel Jackson was wearing a kilt? I might be thinking about the same movie.
Maybe.
I think it was Formula 51. I think it was actually. Yep, it was Formula 51. So there you go.
Okay.
Sammy, look. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's where we're gonna table. Here's where we're gonna table this conversation. If y'all are willing to overlook this, Samuel Jackson with a whole ass kilt on, standing next to Begbie from Train Spotting, leave Edward Cullen alone. Leave Robbie Patts alone. God damn it,
man. Put some respect on Rumpelstiltskin, man.
Dude, no, because I'm gonna tell you what. Here's the thing.
I forgot to say that.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. If y'all can overlook this, if y'all go overlook this man, he's sitting here looking. He called the police right now. This man is calling the police on somebody. This man is snitching. Get me the fuck out of here. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Anyway, yeah, we had other shit to talk about, but honestly, I kind of feel like all of it pales in comparison to everything that we just discussed. So, yeah. See, you see it now. Man, there ain't no kilt. That's a skirt. Man got on a skirt.
Well, I'm laughing at that, and I'm laughing at the fact that I forgot that he had braids in that movie. It's just,
yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it looked like he from two different anime at the same time. He do. That said, let's go ahead and get into this man almost died. Let's get into some questions from the Discord real quick, and then we're gonna then we'll get into questions from the chat. Actually, before we do, we do have one question. I'll just have a super chat that I want to address real quick.
Okay.
We got one from Night19 with the $10 super chat. Says, loved your video on Bronze Tiger. Why do you think we haven't been getting more black martial artists in film and television? I'd like for Michael Jai White not to be the only viable fan cast for Bronze Tiger. Well, here's the thing. Black people have a history in martial arts. But the thing is, we don't get as much recognition for it, if that makes any sense. Like, I actually have a list that I've been compiling for a long time, and I've actually been curating for a long time. And on that list, what was it? There's a character that, if I'm not mistaken, is actually from Marvel. It was a guy by the name of Black Tiger, who very likely was because he technically came out before Bronze Tiger, actually. Marvel actually released him in 1974. Bronze Tiger didn't really become a thing until 1975. But considering Bronze Tiger started in a book first before a comic, it could stand to reason that maybe Bronze Tiger was in some way, shape, form, or fashion the inspiration for Black Tiger. But yeah, you can look him up. He was an interesting enough character. Probably gonna do a video on him about him before too long. But we have a history in martial arts. And we don't get enough credit for it. One of the things I always talk about is, I think Carter, we've talked about it together before as well, is Sope Darisu in Gangs of London. That dude's a whole martial arts star now, as far as I'm concerned. I have not seen that dude in many action movies or anything of the like. But actually here, and I just want to show y'all something, because I feel like it's very important to recognize sometimes, what is possible when we actually give ourselves, chances to actually, like, see and do things that maybe other people don't get that opportunity to do. Like here, I'm actually going to pull this up because I think this is actually pardon the quality of it, but Sope Darisu, one of the actors from Gangs of London, did it, and I highly recommend, if you've never watched Gangs of London, it's a very good show. I think it's on AMC Plus. But yeah, hey, you do what you got to do. So yeah, I think we're viable. We're viable in that arena, and I think we should have more to do in it. And honestly, there are actors that can do it. And I've even said before that, like, let's take a look at maybe, say, Shang-Chi. One of the things that came out recently with Shang-Chi, if I'm not mistaken, I could be speaking out of turn here, but the actor Simu Liu recently said he had no history really to speak of in martial arts. He lied about it to get the role. And with that said, though, going into that scene, where he's on the bus and fighting all these dudes, that scene is actually freaking crazy looking. Like, it's literally like when you see this guy like beating the shit out of people. It's like, dude literally just goes into like fight mode and he looks believable. And this is a guy who isn't like Bruce Lee. He's not trained in martial arts all his life. He's not Jet Li. He's not trained in martial arts all his fucking life. This is a guy who literally is just, he's an actor. He's a guy who adapted to a role that he was given. This is why I always say, like, I know Finn Jones put a bad taste in our mouth with Iron Fist, but you don't always need a martial artist to pull off believable martial arts cinematography. So honestly, I think you can get any black actor that you want. And as long as they themselves are willing to put in the work, I think you can turn out something really good. Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Sope Darisu, the guy who I just showed from Gangs of London, I don't remember reading about him having any martial arts background. He just happened to work on a show that was directed by the guy, or at least overseen by the guy. It was Gareth Edwards, who was the guy who directed the Raid movies, both Raid 1 and 2. That's why that shit came out as good as it did, and Sope put in the work. So, yeah, there's that.
Simu Liu lies about his martial arts. Aquafina lies about being black. That's fucked up.
Y'all.
That's fucked
you
up.
ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. The good news is that Simu's lie didn't hurt anybody. Go Sure his baby's father with a $5 super chat says, Blerd and Carter, y'all helping each other out if y'all get confronted by Batman. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. If Carter gets jumped by Batman, I'm gonna assume he did something wrong.
Man, listen, I'm going full on Nino Brown, and I'm taking a child and using them as a human shield to block that batarang. I'm just saying.
Look, we'll be talking with the Penguin's accent too. Like, I got you. Oh, I love the look of sheer terror on his face too when he realized Batman was in fact not blown up.
It was funny just because that's when he lost that New York accent. He was trying, that Colin Farrell came out like he was actually scared. It was kind of funny.
He's like, oh shit. And then Coach Vic 7, dude, thank you for the Blerd Club Silver. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. So good. Thank you. Let's get into the Discord too real quick. It says Blind Tiger with the top of the morning. What was that House of Pain? Was that House of Pain that did that one?
I don't watch any of those Tyler Perry shows. You on your own on that boat.
No, I'm talking about the rap group House of Pain. Remember how earlier you brought a bullseye? Yeah, that was the song that was playing when he first shows up in Daredevil. Don't ask me why I know that. Anyway,
top of the morning to you.
Blind Tiger says, Blerd Cave, I hope y'all doing good this fine evening. For me, says, I've got one very important question for y'all. What do y'all drink? What's like y'all's top shelf liquor? I like top 10 lifetime best liquor y'all have indulged in. Top shelf type stuff. Well, I can personally tell you, I don't drink very often. So I'm not a refined connoisseur of the liqueurs. I don't hold my pinky out when I drink them. But Carter drinks more than I do. So
Wow, thank you for calling me an alcoholic. There was this one thing I cannot find it in LA. I don't know if it's just a Southern thing or what, but it's something some people of the Caucasian variety introduced me to, because I didn't know that people still made mead. Did you know that?
Yeah. Mead is still a thing. Yeah.
And it was it's called Viking blood with one O. With one O. It's
Is it
honey.
umlauted?
I didn't go to college to be in one of those summa cum laudes.
I mean, does it have like two little dots over the O?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. But it's it's a honey mead that I would knock back if it was up here.
Yeah.
But no, I should try to totally go to one of these fancy schmancy restaurants and see what they have. Because the only one I almost went to here was the one that Drake frequents a lot and gets shit faced in. But then they had bottles starting at like $3, and I went back like I was watching the Batman again. I said, let me go this way.
$3? No, I'm good. Ain't nothing that good. I don't drink very often. If I do drink, I'm more likely to drink wine. Because I'm usually in chill mode. I don't drink hard liquor as often. Though I was in a phase where I would go to. I don't do this anymore because it's not healthy. But I used to go to the store, or as my mother and my grandmother say back in the day, the package store. And that's how you know a motherfucker old. You know a motherfucker old when they call it the package store. But no, I would go to the liquor store and I would pick up a bottle of Peachtree schnapps and maybe like a Smirnoff vodka or something like that. And that was my personal favorite drink of choice. That's something I prefer to drink when I do drink. Or like what was it? We used to get what was it? Hurricanes. When I used to go to Alfred's all the time, on Beale Street. Used to get Hurricanes. That should get you drunk quick too.
Mailman, I'm sorry, but yeah, you had to go in the hole for asking me that gross ass question. You sick man.
What did you say?
Don't ask me if I'm drinking that Soldier Boy Young Draco Lane. No, you got to get put in the hole for that one, dog. Ask me you got some kind of sickness to ask me a question like that, boy. No. Mikal Matthews, he actually knows what I'm talking about. He said that Viking blood smacks. It actually is fire. But
I'm actually looking it up.
You only an alcoholic if you go to the meetings. Otherwise, you are drunk.
Hey, I'm just saying. Shadow the Cat 99 says the Batman was amazing. What are some villains you hope Matt Reeves takes on in a sequel to the Batman? I know Matt Reeves wants to do Mr. Freeze. I would also like to see Poison Ivy. Hope you guys have a great day. I tell you what, I would like for him to do some villains we don't see very often. Or maybe if we haven't, or if we've seen them before, I would want to see him. Like, I would actually like to see a Bane under Matt Reeves' direction. Not that shit we saw in The Dark Knight Rises. I don't ever want to see that shit again. It's actually part of the reason I don't like other than the fact that The Dark Knight Rises is a not good movie.
What if he did a Hugo Strange?
I would like to see that, especially considering that because they're doing an Arkham spinoff. They're doing an Arkham spinoff, so I would like to see that. We've already got Penguin, so we've already seen the Scarecrow, but I would like to see what considering how twisted he made the Riddler, I would love to see how he would do a Scarecrow, even though we have seen him before. We already have Firefly coming up in the Batgirl, which some pictures leaked this week showing what Brendan Fraser's going to look like. He looks pretty low tech for Firefly, which is fine. I'm okay with that. You know what I would love to see? The Clock King. That's what I would like to see. Because it seems like Matt Reeves, he said this before that he wants to do more grounded superhero movies, which I'm not a fan of, especially considering all the crazy shit we got going on right now with Marvel. I think the DC should embrace its more ridiculous shit. But considering how well he did with this, I'm willing to give Matt Reeves a little bit more rope to work with. If he wants to do more grounded villains, people like Mr. Zaz.
You want ventriloquist running around here with Scarface?
That would actually be kind of funny to me, because I feel like he would make it. I feel like he would make it terrifying. Like, he would let people, kind of like how, you know how Carmine Falcone and the Penguin, sometimes they would joke about Batman's costume, or make jokes at him to his face even. Yeah. I feel like it would be one of those situations where other people would do that, and then they would pay the price.
Yeah.
Like, they would immediately, eat their words. Like, I would love to see, Hugo Strange is a good one. I know when Ben Affleck was writing his version of Batman, which this ultimately became, he wanted to use Deathstroke. I would be interested in seeing that.
Professor Pig would be disgusting.
Yes.
That
Pig
would be disgusting.
Ooh, yes. Especially if they, if they did Professor Pig, like kind of like how they leaned into the Zodiac Killer and John Doe styles for the Riddler. If they did that with but took it to the next level with Professor Pig,
I was gonna say, because you would have to turn it up if you'd have to. Pig.
You'd have to. Like, if you made him, if you kind of gave. Okay, so here's what I would do. And I know this is gonna sound kind of hackneyed, and I get it. It kind of is what it is. But if you made him, if you kind of just, because that's basically what he is. He's kind of like a Leatherface style character. But if you made him like a Leatherface with like some intelligence behind him, like with some calculating behind him, that I think would be really awesome. But make him make him look as rugged and rough as Leatherface would look. But make him as vicious. Make him as vicious and as gruesome, even more so. What's another one I would? Honestly, that's kind of all I can really think of right now. Anybody else would be like too wild and out there. I don't want to see Ra's al Ghul again, or anybody else like that for that matter, for a while. And some of the more ridiculous villains, I don't want to see those. You know what? Even though I know this would never happen, and that's why I'm saying this, because I want it to happen. Give me Clayface. I don't think we've never gotten Clayface. And I wonder how Matt Reeves would do somebody as weird as Clayface. Like, would he try and do him like old Clayface? Remember the way Clayface used to be, where he was actually someone who molded his face? Like, he wasn't like some big glob monster. I wonder if he would go that route, or if he actually would lean into like the more, like the Clayface we all know, like what we've seen in like the animated series, the comics, Batman, TAS, so on and so forth. I wonder if he would go that route, but maybe not.
Oh no, if he did it like, do you remember how they did it in the Batman cartoon where it was a cop?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That'd be kind of interesting.
I can
to
see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Next question is JWR in the Discord says, who are some mutants you hope to appear, that you hope appear or get resurrected in Destiny of X? Honestly, most everybody I want to see is back for the most part, or they're around. I know that I won't say Tempo because, she's going to be on the Marauders, so we know we'll see her. I don't know what's going to happen with Frenzy. I'm hoping maybe she pops up on X-Men Red or something. So I'm not going to say Frenzy. I tell you who, Prodigy. I want to see Prodigy doing more, even though I know he's on X Factor, but X Factor is no longer an actual comic. I want to see him actually walking around doing stuff. I hope that Gentle actually gets to be used, even though I know he didn't win the X vote. I know for a fact he didn't win the X vote. I know who won, and Marvel was pretty obvious about it. When they released the final standings, it's clearly going to be Firestar, clearly, which I'm not happy about. As some of my videos may have hinted. I'm trying to think of like somebody that I haven't seen in a while that I just really miss seeing. And really a lot of those mutants have been showing up. I don't know. Carter, you got anybody in mind that you would want to see? You are muted.
I was gonna say just not not anyone in particular, because even the ones that I wanted back, they're on books I'm not reading.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That is fair.
Not off the top of my head, to be honest, brother.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, none are leaping out at me at this precise moment. LJ Brown in the Discord says, "Hi, Blerd and Carter. With the critical success of the Batman, do you think it's time for DC to make a sub-movie division in the style Elseworld, Black Label, for movies not part of the continuity and filmmakers who want to tell one-off stories, and the DCU, or whatever they're calling it, can be separate?" Yes. No. Huh?
No.
That's what you said earlier. You're contradicting yourself.
What do you mean?
You said earlier you wanted DC to make separate movies that weren't connected.
Oh no, I thought he was saying for another studio to do it.
No, oh no. He's talking about he's talking about like how. So you know how you have like DC, you have DC Black Label. Mm-hmm. It's all DC. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But like you're letting other people tell stories that aren't connected to like whatever the main continuity is that is already like established. So like kind of like how, remember how Killing Joke technically it is Black Label, but you know how technically it is kind of canon, but it kind of isn't.
Yeah.
You know how they have those type of deals. We know how like the White Knight is not canon.
Okay.
Stuff
I got
like
you
that.
Now.
Like,
I got you
like,
now. Okay.
Yeah. So like if somebody like let's play Let's Pretend. They're not making a Batman White Knight movie, but let's say they did. Like DC was like, "Hey, we're making Batman the White Knight. It's gonna be a separate movie." That's what he means. Kind of like how this is how the Batman is separate from all the other DCEU shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Personally, yes, I would be 100% in for it. Please make all of the DC Black Label movies you want. They can even call it the DC Black Label movie division. I don't give a fuck. But just make sure that you're getting people who actually want to tell good stories. Don't have motherfuckers coming in just throwing up some bullshit. Like what we got with what's his face? The Joker movie. That was some dumbass shit. I never want to watch that shit again. We got another one from Urban Prince of Strong Style. Says, "Evening Blerd and Carter, does Mora know about the future where mutants win? I think if she knew about that future, she wouldn't be gung-ho on mutants." I don't think she knows. Because that's kind of the thing that I've always kept bringing up. Or maybe she does know. Who knows? But I feel like in Inferno, it was made very clear that when Mora leaves a timeline, it doesn't go away. And as what was initially thought, it keeps going. It persists. It becomes what they call a TRN. Like when they talk about different Earths, you always see certain Earths in Marvel's multiverse are labeled Earth TRN and then a number as opposed to Earth 2, 3, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's because that's a time reality number. So basically, it's an alternate reality. It's a parallel Earth, but one that exists in an alternate reality. It's not like an actual parallel Earth in the strictest sense. So that's what happens. There's like probably multiple TRNs out there, and we know that Omega Sentinel comes from one because clearly there was one where the mutants won, and she's trying to stop that. So I think that maybe, just maybe, Omega Sentinel and Mora, they literally are just existing in, or the lives that Mora has lived versus the reality that Omega Sentinel hails from. They're just seeing two different sides of the same coin. And yeah, and also victory is relative, so it's hard to say. Let's get to questions from the chat. Let's see here. Let's see, we got one from Bill. Says, just coming back in from Spoiler Chat, will you guys discuss the Ariana DeBose news for Kraven the Hunter. We were going to talk about it, but I guess as you brought it up, that actually gives me a way to organically talk about some of the things that we were going to talk about, but time just got away from us. But yes, the actress who was in recently in the West Side Story remake, she is going to be playing Calypso, if I'm not mistaken. That's the rumor. Or not rumor, it actually supposedly is true. This actually was like a press release, if I'm not mistaken. But, I'm assuming that I said her name correctly. So, I could very well be incorrect, and I'm open to that being the case. But for those who are not familiar with the actress, this is her. She's going to be playing Calypso in the Kraven the Hunter movie, starring opposite of it was Aaron Taylor Johnson, I believe is his name. I could be wrong.
Yeah, good old kick ass. Yep.
Yeah, that kick ass kick. But wasn't that what the other dude called himself, ass kick, in the second movie?
Yes.
Yeah, he calls himself ass kick. Lord, get me out of here. Anyway, why did I commit that to memory? But yeah, that's the rumor. That's the rumor that's gonna be going around. So I don't know how that's gonna play out. I mean, it's gonna be interesting if for no other reason that she is connected to Kraven. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, weren't they married? I can't remember. I know that they had like a romantic relationship. I don't remember if they were ever actually like formally married, but but apparently this is actually made even more interesting because this is something I actually didn't know beforehand, or maybe I did. We reported on so many things I forget about so many things. But originally, Jodie Turner-Smith was the one who was actually being looked at to play Calypso originally. Originally, but the role is ultimately going to wind up going to Ariana DeBose. So that's I don't know why. There's probably a reason for it. I mean, she did just recently. I haven't seen the movie, but I heard she had a standout performance in the West Side Story remake, so that probably had a lot to do with it, as it usually does when actors have recent standout performances. They wind up showing up in everything, at least for a time. Let's see here. Let's keep going through here. See if we can find some more questions. Let's see.
See, one from Shaman 059. Do you think David Harbour would make a good Clayface? If not, who would you cast as the other villain? Who would you cast David Harbour as?
Talking about in a Batman movie?
Well, let's just say DC as a whole. Because someone said they think David Harbour would make a good Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, I
don't agree with that because he can actually act.
Well, yeah, he is. Well, yes, he's an actor. For those who don't know who we're talking about, you may be familiar with him from things like Stranger Things. He was also
Hellboy.
recently in he was Hellboy, which I actually don't hate that movie. It just I felt that it was an unnecessary remake. And he was also Red Guardian in Black Widow recently. So if you're familiar, I could see him doing a lot of different things. But if we're gonna keep it, if we could keep it to Batman, if it's gonna be something Batman related, I think he would make a good Clayface. Yes, I actually think he could do if you did Clayface in a way where he wasn't just like a glob of sentient amorphous oozing clay. If you did it that way, if you did it more like his original incarnation, where like he just used to be able to mold his face, I could see him doing that. I could actually see him playing a very convincing Mr. Zaz. I could see him even playing a convincing Hush. I think he could do very good. Like if you want him to play,
that's actually a good one. That's a good one.
If I think he could play a convincing. What was it, Thomas Elliott? I think he can do it. That's a good one. That's a good one. And I know this will never happen because this is a Batman movie grounded in reality. But if you wanted to go the ridiculous route, I could even see him as like the Owl Man, the Earth 3 Owl Man. I could even see him doing that. If you want to go that right. But I would rather see him do Hush.
Can I annoy you real quick?
Go ahead.
I can see him in a perfect world where they do a Secret Six movie. I wouldn't mind seeing David Harbour as Catman.
Yeah. Okay. Catman. All right. You know what? Fuck it. I'll actually. I'm gonna surprise you. I'll fuck with it. Let's see here. Let's see. Wait. What did I say about Joker?
Oh, you don't like?
Oh, yeah. I mean, y'all can disagree. I don't care. I'm sorry. I did not like that movie. It was very dumb, and I actually did feel like my time was wasted by the time I got to the end. But yeah. And boy, because they cast him as Professor Pig. Okay.
David Harbour?
I can see it. But no, I'm sorry. I don't. I know some people just leaped on that movie like it was just like the end all be all, but I'm sorry. I've seen infinitely better movies than that. I would rather watch any number of terrible other superhero and comic book related movies than go back and rewatch Joker. Let's see. Oh, I can see David Harbour as a Talon. Maybe if you did want to do the Court of Owls stuff, but I'm sticking with Hush. Hush is my final answer. KG Beast, y'all need to get out of here with that. Y'all just saying that because y'all just saw Black Widow. David Harbour's Bullock.
That would be interesting.
I can see it. I actually could see it, but I would want him to be something better than that.
Yeah, because somebody said Harvey, and that's like, okay.
Yeah, Harvey Bullock, sure.
No, I meant Harvey Dent.
Oh, it's Harvey Dent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what? Actually, all right, I fucks with that. I actually fucks with that. The only thing that sucks is, did they say whether or not Maroni got killed? I feel like because they kept talking about
I think
about
they
Maroni.
did, because I think that's
Maroni's
why
dead.
Falcone ran everything.
Yeah, I think it's just that it was done off camera. It was like, I think they tackled that in the prequel novel, but yeah, okay, I fucks with it. Yeah, I'll give it that. What? Army Hammer's Clayface is wild following his allegations. Ooh, yeah, that would be kind of. Army Hammer.
You're not gonna leave me alone, dude. I want to see Catman. I want to see David Harbour's Catman.
Oh, yeah.
You're not gonna stop judging me.
Let's see here. Bill dropped some questions. 2X questions says, did you know there was going to be a Storm ongoing announced in 2017, illustrated by Jen Bartel, but has been shelved ever since? Let's see. Aurora's Wind had hung on to that news before Hoxpox. Yeah. Okay. So Storm has had a few different ongoings. Or not ongoings. They were like mini-series. They were mini-series that just kind of came and went. Because I actually looked through some of them back when I did my video for Storm. But I know they had one that was like she had like a little 4-part joint. She had another one was like a little, I think this might have been another like 1 to 6 issue joint. I think that was one that Eric Jerome Dickey did. She had another one, like, I think in 2014 that ran, like, I think it ran, like, 10 issues, 10 or 11 issues, I think, or something like that. And she had another one that was, like, back in the 90s. It was, like, a little 4-part joint. Like, she's had some comics. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was, I do remember hearing something about one. And the other question was, since Dazzler wasn't in Devil's Reign, X-Men #2, is she saved for #3 to possibly help the young child, since the child is also an artist? Not sure if it's either in the music or painting sense. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there with that, because I remember Dazzler's on the cover, if I'm not mistaken, for Devil's Reign, X-Men #2, and does not show up. Not even a little bit. I do love that issue, though. That issue is really good. It's just that it's good. It's good in the ways that comic books that don't have a lot of action in them are good. It's like, it's good because it's fleshing out a story and telling me things I didn't know and shining light on some things that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been talked about because people are too busy punching each other or throwing bombs at each other or shooting people with laser eyes. I like when comics take a moment to sit back and throw away the fisticuffs and tell me a story. I like that, which is, I think, why I've been so big on a lot of the stuff coming out of Image and Boom Studios as of late. But yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. What is Eve L. Ewing doing right now? Why is she not writing Storm? That's my question. Where's Eve L. Ewing at right now? Do I need to call her? What Robin would I bring into Batman first? I mean, I would do it the way it should be done. Make it Dick Grayson. Though you might have to change it up a little bit. You may have to update it a little bit. But I think it works. I would also not be... You know what? If you wanted to update it, I could actually see it going this way. Like, you know, since we talked about earlier that the Wayne Manor was used as the orphanage, what if, you know, Bruce decided to reopen it? But once again, instead of making it his home, just deciding to stay at Wayne Tower instead, but using that house as a home for orphans. Because let's be fair, most of Batman's Robins, to some degree or another, are orphans or kids who, you know, just got lost in the shuffle. Yeah. That would be a really good way for you if you wanted to introduce characters like Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, you know, or the such. Not so much a good way to do Tim Drake though. Tim Drake, you wouldn't want to go that route, but I can see that with, like, if you wanted to do that for Dick Grayson or Jason Todd or both, I can see that.
Do you think the MCU is building up to something big again, or are they just messing around with Magic Realms and Kang? This phase isn't really taking shape. I think it's taking shape. It's just, it's not taking shape in a grounded sense like it originally did.
No.
This new phase, I think they're actually let's do some of the wild shit that's in the comics.
And instead of building up like 20 movies, 10 years worth of movies to one villain, I think what they're doing is instead building up multiple movies towards multiple things. Because that was kind of my big issue with the Marvel Cinematic Universe it was like, it was just a wait to get to Thanos. Like, you were always just waiting to get, when are they going to tease something about Thanos? And then they never really did, and I think they realized that all the teasing and stuff, and, is he going to show up here, or is he going to show up there, and people making too much out of things that happened in, you know, certain movies that didn't really amount to anything. I think they've realized and learned their lesson that when you spend 10 years, or almost 10 years, building up to one bad guy, it can kind of make people's expectations go in wild directions. So that's why this time, instead of just focusing on, like, let's say, Kang being the next overall big bad of the Marvel movies that we won't see very much of until after 10 years later, instead of doing that, what they're doing now is they're saying, no, we're giving you a little bit of everything. We're also, we're really leaning into the multiverse. We're leaning into the Celestials. We're leaning into Kang. We're also leaning into the Ten Rings. We're leaning into Fin Fang Foom. We're leaning into the cosmic Marvel universe. We're not just, this is just 10 years building up to one dude. Yeah, we're past that point now. Which it might make it seem like the MCU is rudderless at this moment. It isn't. It is all building to something. It's just they're all going in their own separate directions. Because they're also building towards the Young Avengers. They're also building towards the changing of the guard with other heroes. We're building up to Jane Foster. We're building up to Sam Wilson as the current Captain America, which, technically we got in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I'm talking about building on more of that. We're building up on so many different things. I think it's personally fine. I think people just miss. I think what's happened is, I think if you actually, without, and I guess maybe because I have the benefit of hindsight, I look back at the way Marvel set up Thanos, and honestly, I kind of wish they never did it that way. I wish they didn't announce Thanos is coming in the first Avengers movie. I wish they would have just left it a mystery. Left it a mystery for a while. And honestly, I feel like maybe Guardians should have been the first time we ever saw or heard of Thanos. We should have been like, because what it did is it made people wait. And when people wait, it makes them anxious. And when people get anxious, this is when you start getting all these crackpot fucking theories about what Thanos is going to be doing, when he's going to show up. And whenever... You ever watch a Nintendo Direct, Carter? You ever watch a Nintendo Direct live and just look at the chat?
I try not to.
You want to know why? You know why you're smart for doing that? Because anytime they do a Nintendo Direct, even if it's an announced Nintendo Direct where they say, no, this is the Pokemon Nintendo Direct, this is the Bayonetta Nintendo Direct, this is the Kirby Mouthful Edition Nintendo Direct, which is a terrible thing to be able to say. But people will come to that live stream and just start downvoting, like disliking the video and talking shit in the chat, say, they didn't talk about Smash, dislike. They didn't talk. Dude, even after they said that Sora was the last and final DLC character, no mo after that, people were still 2 Nintendo Directs later coming and talking about some no Smash news, dislike. And they weren't joking. They weren't trolling. They were being serious. That's kind of how I feel people have become about the MCU in regards to like, oh, well, where's the next Thanos? People are wanting the next Thanos. I'm sorry. You're not going to get it because there is no other Thanos, and there shouldn't be. Like, there are other villains in Marvel other than Thanos. There's other people who can run the Avengers fade other than Thanos. I'm just, it is what it is. It's one of the things. It's something that I've seen that argument so many times. I'm just like, can we just like we should let Robert Pattinson forget about Twilight, can we just let Marvel move on from Thanos? And doing things like Thanos. That's what I would do. Let's see here. Let's see here. What we got? Wow, that is here we're gonna.
Yeah, that's like the second or third time that thing has popped up.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna report. But yeah, and there we go. Bablam, and get rid of that. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Bill says, will you be picking up next week's Eternals and Avengers issues to prepare for Judgment Day connections? Plus, is X-Men #9 also important to this? Arnab Shaklandar better get that culture/nar job. The narrator, culture and narrative job. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, I actually did read a snippet of one of the solicits for Eternals #10. I kind of dug the shade that Namor threw at Iron Man, and I also like what they also threw some. Carter, I don't know if you saw this. Did you ever look at any of the solicits for? I know you're not even reading Eternals #10, so I guess you probably wouldn't have. But there is a page from the let me see if I can find it here. There's a page from one of the yeah, here we go. This is it. Put it over here where stuff goes. There you go. Here, let's I'm gonna clear this just for a second just because I want to show this. So there is a this page right here. I love this because it threw shade at Zack Snyder and I was totally here for it. There's a part in this comic where Kingo asked or not asked, but he's talking to Sprite about movies that she has snuck into that were not age appropriate for someone who is her human age, not her celestial age. But And then they asked about she asked about whether or not this one movie was good, and Keiko says absolutely not. The director's cut is even worse. It just adds a lot of slow motion to turn a 2-hour movie into a 4-hour one. There you go. Thank you, Kieran Gillen. Thank you for being smart. But yeah. I love that. That movie became it became special to me from that moment then on. Let me take that out of there, by the way. But yeah, that said, let's see here. Ooh, man. Sir, your G says because Smash community can be toxic at times. Oh, I know. Smash is like the only community other than Dead by like short of Dead by Daylight and League of Legends that I'm just like, I don't want to belong here. And Mailman gets what I'm talking about. Yeah, people still waiting for Mephisto because everyone sees something and then people start building up expectation, and that expectation does not meet reality, and then people want to blame Marvel, or not in cases of other industries, because this happens with a lot of other industries, not just Marvel, but people want to then blame the company for not meeting their ridiculous expectations. It's like, no, that's your fault. You are the reason why you don't like something. It's not Marvel's fault that they didn't read your Reddit thread, your 80,000 post Reddit thread about how you would do the movie. It's not their fault that they didn't read that. It's your fault for thinking that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a multiverse phase. Shots fired by the Eternals. Yes. So there's one last thing. The upcoming Eternals, the Undying one-shot title has changed to Eternals, the Heretic, with regards to the artist passing. Oh, shit. I did not know that. I didn't know they I didn't know they had changed the name. Hold on. I did not know that they had changed it. Holy shit. That is fucking crazy. Huh. When does this drop? Okay, wait. When is this? Okay, so this is dropping. Oh, wow. Very soon. Okay, cool. I'll be keeping an eye out for this. I'll definitely be looking out for it. Says Seattle KO says, I'm curious if Bale will be in prosthetic makeup or mocapped as Gore the God Butcher. I think they're gonna do what they, because I've seen set photos. He's on set. And he is wearing a costume.
Okay.
But what I think they're gonna do is they're gonna do like what they do with Black Panther. He's probably gonna have and what they've done with Vision as well. Yeah. They're gonna go back and touch him up with CG, I think is what's gonna happen.
Okay.
I think they're gonna try and have him on the screen as much as humanly possible, then go back and then add in. They probably will add in some.
I think they'll do something like I can't remember the actor's name in Dune. You think they might go that route with him? Because that could be an option since it went so well with them. And it's
with Dune. Wait, which actor?
Big dude. That went in...
yeah. I can see that. I can see that. I actually could. I can see that. Okay. It would. I want whatever it is they do. I trust that Marvel is going to do it well. They typically don't. They're not going to go. I'm hoping they're not going to go the X-Men Apocalypse route. We'll just. Yeah. I'm hoping they don't. But yeah, that said, before we get out of here, Carter, do you have any recommendeds?
Do. Well, we were talking about the Batman, and the one thing we kind of talked about, it was really quick, was that in that film, Selena Kyle is Carmine Falcone's daughter. Mm-hmm. And it actually made me go back and read a certain run of Catwoman from 2015.
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
2015.
Yes.
Oh,
This,
okay. I see you. You're a gentleman.
This Catwoman. See, now here's the thing. This Catwoman run. It started with the New 52. This is New 52 Catwoman that did not start off gentle. This was hard. It was a piece of shit. But what I'm recommending is Catwoman issues 35 to 46 of that New 52 run. It was done by Genevieve Valentine with art by David Messina and Gary Brown. The reason I'm recommending that is just because in that story, Selena wasn't a Falcone. She wasn't a Falcone. She was actually Rex Calabrese. You find out that she's his daughter. You find that out in Batman Eternal. Mm-hmm. But Catwoman issues 35 to 46 is basically mob boss Selena Kyle basically running Gotham. Mm-hmm. Really, really good stuff. That is probably the best part of that entire Catwoman New 52 thing, because before that point, it was chicken shit, and those specific issues.
I remember.
That was when the chicken salad finally came.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because that was new creative team, mm-hmm. and everything. That's actually, if someone told me they wanted to start off like hey, I want to get into Catwoman, where do I start? Mm-hmm. This isn't a bad place. This isn't a bad place to start.
Yeah, if you just want a solid story arc of just my boss Selena Kyle, that's really, really good writing, really, really good art, then that's gonna be my recommended. Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Bill 93 basically said it. Selena Capone. Mm-hmm. That's basically what it was. It was really, really, really good.
Like I said, it's good. It's like I said, it's a solid series. Like I said, if you want a good one, like I said, just look for that cover. Start there, 35, and then carry. Go ahead and carry on from there. For me, ooh man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, because there were we had a lot of good comics drop this week. Mm-hmm. A lot of really good ones. Man, and you know what? I actually almost don't want to throw anything up that I put on the top 5. So I'm gonna try. You know what? Yeah, I'm actually gonna stay away from. I'm gonna throw up something that was not in my top 5. And that would be. Ooh, man. I tell you what. So if you are a person who is interested in superhero slices of life, and since we're talking about a female superhero in Catwoman, mm-hmm. let's keep the trend going. I'll keep the trend going by taking your Catwoman and raising you a She-Hulk. Specifically, She-Hulk number 2.
Okay.
I've actually been enjoying this one. Rainbow Rowell, I guess it's Rainbow Rowell or Rainbow Rowell, I don't know. Anyway, really enjoying this one. Because it's basically, it's like a slice of life She-Hulk, as it should be, with a Jack of Hearts back in the saddle.
Okay.
It's a solid, so far it's off to a good start. She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters rather, is just kind of getting her feet back under. She's getting a little help from her friends. But now she's also being reintroduced to Jack of Hearts, who used to be one of her fellow Avengers teammates. And it's been a while. It's been a while since Jack of Hearts has been around, but they let you know very quickly that they did have a little, not super duper mega history, but he did once, because his whole thing was draining energy and unleashing these radioactive explosions, and basically she's in this position where she's got this guy like who literally just barged into what is essentially the Wasp condo that she's living in. And now she's having to figure out how she's going to help this guy because this guy has no memory of anything. He doesn't remember how he came back because he's supposed to be dead. He doesn't remember how he came back. He doesn't know where he came from. He doesn't know who's been keeping him. And there's some sinister stuff going on in the background because him showing up there wasn't just some coincidence. This was something that was clearly done by design at the behest of somebody else. And that's kind of what you get here. Like, and Jennifer's kind of having to figure this out. And it's actually pretty cool. There's some cute little funny moments as you would expect from a She-Hulk comic. But there's also some sinister moments. And it's actually nice seeing Jennifer Walters kind of back in her element and kind of she's kind of slowly regaining her confidence. After she kind of got all that excess gamma out of her, she kind of lost her swagger, so to speak. And you can tell in this that she's actually kind of finally starting to get it back. So there you go. That is my. I will also say as an add-on, to that, I will also say, and I want to get back into this mode to say it is go play Elden Ring. Because that's actually what I'm going to do as soon as we get done doing this. But anyway. Carter, what do you got going on this weekend? What are you gonna be doing, brother? You gonna be streaming? You gonna be doing anything?
Well, I'm gonna be streaming next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I started streaming Space Marine because you and I were laughing about that shit the other day.
I did buy it too, by the way.
Oh no, I bought it too. I started streaming it on Twitch last Wednesday. But yeah, I'm probably going to get back on that. I know a few people have asked me if I was going to play Control so I can finish doing that Remedy universe thing that I was going to do because I already did Quantum.
Did you ever play Control?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I played it to its completion on PS4, which was a framey mess. But then
Epic gave it away.
Well, not even. No, well, yes. But Amazon Prime gave away the better edition with all the DLC. So I get to play it with good frames and no lag. And so
Jeff Bezos got all that money. He may as well give you the free one. I mean, or give you the good one.
So yeah, I'm still gonna do that in Alan Wake. But yeah, more than likely, I'm gonna be playing some more Warhammer Space Marine because that game is just fucking great. Just good old days when everything wasn't microtransactions and just first person BRs
and a good single player story.
Yeah, man.
Also chainsaw swords, but yes. I like it's really weird. Warhammer 40K is one of those franchises. I don't give a fuck about it's okay. You know what it is? It's kind of like Warhammer is kind of like League of Legends to me. I don't give a fuck about the video game League of Legends, but I love Arcane. That's kind of how I feel about Warhammer. I don't give a fuck about the tabletop game, the war game, whatever, the minis, whatever. I don't give a fuck about it, but I do love its story. I love like the story in the video games that spin out of it, because I think it's great. I just don't want to play that game, and I don't like that. And I also don't like that community either, very much. As we just talked about toxic communities, that is also one. I will say this too because I saw there was another. Let's see here. We do have a couple of questions I do want to answer real quick too, just real quick because I can answer them pretty succinctly. Thoughts on Strange #1 and how Clea truly differentiates her mantle from her husband's? Very easily, because she's not operating like she's the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. She's still acting like she's the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension. I think what's going to be the beauty of this series, and I just think it's proof positive that Jed McKay is the writer I always knew he was, is that this guy is writing multiple different series for Marvel, and I've enjoyed every last single one of them. Moon Knight also was amazing this week. But Strange, #1, I think the beauty of it is going to be seeing whether or not Clea actually does soften over the course of the series, because she's already going hard in the paint. I think we're going to kind of see her go through a similar transformation as we saw with Elektra when she became Daredevil, having to fight against her, wanting to just immediately do things the way she's always done them. And whether or not that will work out for her. I think Clea is going to have a longer journey on that. At least I hope she does. I like Clea as a Sorcerer Supreme because she isn't Steven. She doesn't give a fuck. She will throw shade in Dr. Doom's face and laugh in his face and not give a fuck. And tell him to go tell his mama. And then next one, Shaman 05 Line says, we're introduced to him through Twilight. It's polarizing for its mix of other genres. Some actors keep or reject certain roles for their career. Jaleel White as Urkel versus Hugh Jackman as Logan. It's fair, right? I mean, if you're introduced to somebody as, you know, in a particular role, it's fine to recognize them for that role, but if it's something that you are going to criticize them for, as far as like holding it against them because they did it, especially when they have proven that they are better than the role that you're criticizing them for, that is when I think it's a bad look. That is when I think it's a bad look. I'm not going to sit here, like as I just said earlier, not going to hold Samuel L. Jackson accountable, and I can tell this is probably somebody who's behind in the stream. But I'm not going to, like I said, I already said it with Samuel L. Jackson. I'm not going to hold him accountable for every shitty movie he's done. Because he's done a lot of great ones too. Like you can't, because typically when people keep harping on Robert Pattinson for Twilight, it's people who've never seen him in any other movie. Like, you don't, and half the time, you probably didn't even see him in Twilight. You're just hating on him because that's what's popular. It's the same reason people harped on Heath Ledger for Brokeback Mountain, because that was the only movie that they knew of that he was in before that, and they probably didn't even see Brokeback Mountain. Half the people who were complaining about him being in Brokeback Mountain didn't even see Brokeback Mountain to know what they were even complaining about, and to realize he was actually really good in that movie. That's why he got the role for Joker. But anyway, neither here nor there. Like I said, if I brought up everybody's mistakes or the things they did that they weren't proud of every time they tried to do something new, then no one would try anything new.
What was wrong with Black Snake Moan?
Nothing wrong with Black Snake Moan. But yeah, anyway, that's it. We're already over on on time. I actually wanted to get through some of this fast. But yeah, that said, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go play Elden Ring. Carter is probably gonna go to sleep because he has not done so yet. And yeah, thank you guys so much. If you are a patron or a Blerd Club member, don't forget to go check your stuff, because there is the top 5 comics of the week is up on there as we speak. Went up late last night. And stay tuned, because I have another video coming on the works. The video for Calvin Ellis dropped later than I had wanted. I actually wanted to get it out before February ended, but it was one of those weird things where I kind of forgot that February is the shortest month of the year. So when I was thinking about putting it up, I didn't start working on until or finishing it, putting the finishing touches on it until it was already switched over to March. But it is what it is. But I will be doing another video here pretty soon. We're going to be doing Nighthawk. Nighthawk will be dropping, so keep an eye out for that. And I might go back and try and get some other videos knocked out for some stuff that I haven't talked about yet. Just stay tuned. But anyways, love you guys. Keep it plus ultra out there in these streets. We will see you all next time. We are out of here. Bam.